Zach, K8KCS, KD8SLG. You're about a minute away from the announcement and 5.5 minutes away from Newsline. So just letting you know, KD8SLG, clear.
Charlie Tango, mobile, listening.
Amateur radio newsline will start in 5 minutes.
AA8CT KD8SLG. I heard you there, Craig. I was waiting for the announcement. How you doing?
The pajama net will be starting in 4 minutes. KD8SLG, K4OG.
K4OG, KD8SLG, how you doing, Mark?
Hey, Nick. You've been awful quiet, or I haven't been listening. I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Just absorbed in GBT chat and 3D printing.
You're an analog man in a digital world. I'm running ClubNet, so stick around and say hi, okay?
Cool. Yes, sir. I will do that. Looking forward to it, actually.
Well, I will be here with bells and whistles, and more bells and more whistles.
Yes, sir, my president. If you want to look like a jester with bells, go right ahead. All right, Nick. I'll be standing by, eagerly awaiting the ClubNet with your presence and bells. Maybe a whistle. K4OG.
All right, man. I gotta get my head together. You know, for the ClubNet. K4OG KD8SLG. I'm clear.
Nag. That's all I hear. Just nag.
WBABMW. I'll see you in about 2 minutes on the pajama net. 70-30s, everyone.
All righty, Middlemark. Yeah, I just had to get in there and say, good evening, oh fearless leader of the pack of nitnorts. That's us. But we love it. All righty, I gotta check all the work that I done this morning with the rusty needle. Make sure everything is good. 7 trees.
T-O-T-B.
WB8BMW, you nitnort you, whatever that is. You have fun with the guys on the pajama net. Say hi to Ed for me, please, WB8GKV. You're sounding good there, Jim. WB8BMW, KD8SLG, clear.
Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2539 with a release date of Friday, June 26, 2026. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. NASA faces a huge antenna repair bill. South Korea marks a quarter century of fox hunting championships. And in breaking news, an earthquake rocks Venezuela. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2539 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
As Newsline went to production, a state of emergency was declared in Venezuela following a pair of closely spaced earthquakes measuring a magnitude of 7.2 and 7.5. Injuries and deaths were reported across the South American nation, where amateur radio operators began receiving reports via Domingo L. Hernandez Lima, YV5IZE of the Venezuelan Radio Club, that the capital city of Caracas was among those areas that had lost power. Using batteries, hams were already activating voice and digital emergency nets on HF. A global call went out for amateurs to keep the frequency at 7.135 megahertz clear. Emergency communication coordinators for hams in Cuba, Colombia, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and others in the region were asked to remain on standby. Newsline will be following the story as it unfolds. We turn next to NASA, which is facing antenna troubles, which, as many of us know, are not only a bother, but can be downright costly in certain cases. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us about the particularly high cost of a set of antenna woes facing one NASA deep space station right now.
The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, is facing a repair bill of between $4.1 and $4.6 million for Deep Space Station 14. It's 70-meter RF antenna near Barstow, California, all because of what it has found to be inadequate procedures and inadequate training of workers. A report recently released by the agency said that its investigation found a number of primary causes, including human error, weaknesses in software, and an undetected failure in the antenna's hydraulic limit system, which is its final mechanical safeguard. The incident that took the antenna out of service occurred last September as it was tracking the Juno mission for deep space exploration focused on Jupiter. The antenna over-rotated, adding stress to structural supports and cables and damaging water lines feeding the antenna's fire suppression system. An article on NASA's website states that the investigators concluded that operators felt compelled by workplace culture to work as quickly and efficiently as possible, quote, often stretching beyond their usual roles, expertise, and training to keep the antenna operating, end quote. NASA considers these findings to be its final report. The antenna, a key part of the Deep Space Network, is expected to be out of service until October of 2028. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
As Newsline went to production, hams were arriving at Messe Friedrichshafen to attend Europe's top amateur radio event, and in North America, hams in Canada and the U.S. were getting on the air for Field Day. In Huntsville, Alabama, registration is already underway for the Huntsville Ham Fest, which opens on the 22nd of August. It's going to be another busy season, but not before one more event, which begins on July 1st at 1300 UTC, the annual 13 Colonies special event, which is celebrating America's 250th birthday. It concludes on July 8th at 0400 UTC. Now in its 18th year of operation, the event is featuring downloadable certificates for the first time. As always, stations will represent the 13 original colonies, and there will be bonus contacts with GB13COL, TM13COL, and WM3PEN. This year's event is dedicated to Ken Vallone, KU2US, the founder of the 13 Colonies event, who became a silent key last year. Visit 13colonies.us for more details. Be sure to use numerals 1 and 3 for 13. The trio of satellites are called FireSats, and they are set to launch this summer with a special mission, as we hear from Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
This summer, 3 new satellites are expected to be launched to serve as the equivalent of fire towers in the sky. 3 FireSat satellites are being readied by the nonprofit Earthfire Alliance and its wildlife detection program, which is satellite-based. The 3 FireSats have received support from a $26 million grant from the Bezos Earth Fund. The initiative also has the support of Google. The FireSats are expected to monitor for wildfires in critical and sensitive areas at least twice a day, with a special emphasis on the Amazon basin, which is known to be particularly vulnerable. The Earthfire Alliance released a statement saying that it hopes to have more satellites in place to assist with such monitoring so that every point on the planet will be seen every 20 minutes. This is Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
Funding from the YASME Foundation is helping restore an important reverse beacon node, and Jim Meachin's at L2BHF has the details.
The reverse beacon node serving Mauritius is necessary repairs with the help of a grant announced by the YASME Foundation. The Worldwide Foundation's Board of Directors approved a grant in February, but was only recently announced. The funds are being given to Ashwin Mandari, 3B8GL, who will repair his node of the RBN. The move was praised by the Mauritius Amateur Radio Society, whose active hams rely on the network. An RBN station monitors signal propagation, listening specifically for CW and digital modes. Ashwin is treasurer of the Mauritius Amateur Radio Society. In a separate move, the YASME Foundation is also providing a grant to the Korean Amateur Radio League to support its involvement in the activities of the Youth on the Air program. The program is well respected by young amateurs in South Korea, who used the call sign HL0YOTA during the December 2025 YOTA month event. This is Jim Meachin, ZL2BHF.
In Korea, the national championship for fox hunting has just finished its 25th year, and it's popular as ever, as we hear from John Williams, VK4JJW.
Amateur radio direction finding, or fox hunting, is a big priority among hams in South Korea, where the 19th Direction Finding World Championships were held in 2018, hosted by the Korean Amateur Radio League. That was the same year a commemorative postage stamp was issued by the Korea Post Office. This organized pursuit of hidden transmitters continues in Korea, as its national championship recently marked its first quarter century as a formal event. The 25th Korean Amateur Radio Direction Finding National Championship was held in Wonju on the 13th of June. Navigating fields and forests with the help of maps, compasses, and radio receivers, hams worked as both teams and individuals, with sections created by gender and age. Korea's Central Radio Management Service, the agency that oversees radio spectrum and amateur radio, looks favorably upon the development of direction finding techniques to sharpen communication technology skills useful in emergency response situations. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In the UK, the Intruder Watch team is looking for volunteers who can monitor the amateur bands for harmful interference. Jeremy Boot, G4NGH, tells us how to get involved.
Although the International Amateur Radio Union says that its Intruder Watch service is not the band's police, it places a big emphasis on the difference that volunteer monitors can make, keeping the amateur bands free from harmful interference. Watch service participants identify unauthorized transmissions, and report them to their relevant national coordinator. In the UK, the Intruder Watch team of the Radio Society of Great Britain is looking for more volunteers. It plays an important part in finding and disclosing the harmful interference by non-amateur stations. These often include broadcast signals and over-the-horizon radar. The IARU notes on its website that such intrusions appear to be growing rapidly. Ian Stewart, GM4AUP, RSGB coordinator, asks that anyone wanting to learn more or to offer help should contact him at iw@rsgb.org.uk. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WA2EHL repeater in Burlington, New Jersey, on Fridays at 7 p.m. local time. The Yoda America's regional camp in Huntsville, Alabama blasted off on Sunday, June 14th, immediately launching campers into ham radio and space-related adventures. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, tells us more. 35 campers arrived in Huntsville, Alabama from 17 states and 3 countries, the U.S., Mexico, and Argentina. But their focus quickly turned to matters high above the Earth. They enjoyed an ARIS contact with astronaut Chris Williams, KJ5GEW, and a surprise visit from Penny Pettigrew, Payload Communications Manager, and others from NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center Payload Operations Team. Closer to planet Earth, campers sent up a balloon to near space, topping out at 93,500 feet as it signaled as W4Y-11 on APRS. The balloon carried a successful biological experiment from Xavier University and a radiation experiment using Polaroid film. 2 Pico balloons, W9EAR-12 and KM4ZIA-1, were also launched. In between sharpening their kit-building skills and getting acquainted with how to work D-expeditions and using the DX clusters, they operated Special Event Station W4Y, visited the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and the Signals Museum. The week ended with an intercultural evening which brought everyone back down to Earth. Want to sample some of the fun vicariously? Visit the Youth on the Air channel on YouTube. Bring your own refreshments. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM. Let's face it, sporting events of all kinds are the most fun when fans and supporters can watch as the action unfolds in the moment. The World Radio Sport Team Championship, which begins in UK from the 8th through to the 13th of July, is no different. Now, keeping track during the contest in real time as possible as we hear from Dave Lee, M9TLB. A live scoreboard created by World Radio League in collaboration with WRTC 2026 will make its debut at the competition next month, allowing thousands of viewers to follow the action as it happens. The platform will feature integrated spotting and will offer updated live rankings, a leaderboard, pages for each team, and a list of top countries and top contacts. Chasers will be able to track how many QSOs they've had with the teams on individual bands and in what modes. The platform is still a work in progress, subject to refinement. Viewers can get a look at what's planned by visiting the YouTube channel for Q5 Worldwide Ham Radio, which is hosting a demonstration by James Cribbs, N0WRL, CEO and founder of World Radio League. See the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Meanwhile, the WRTC 2026 committee has approved the operation of 6 remote operating positions at the competition's headquarters in Boston, UK. All the remote stations are considered world-class contest stations. Their call signs are ZW5 in Brazil, 7Q6M in Malawi, VK6SJ in Australia, ZF5E in the Cayman Islands, and 2 US stations, K6RO in Maine and KH7M in Hawaii. Individual operators who would like to sign up can visit the link that appears in the text version of this week's newscast. This is Dave Lee, M9TLB. In the world of DX, a 3-member team of hams will be using the call sign PQ Q1I from Espírito Santo State, Brazil, IOTA Group SA067 on the 24th through the 26th of July. Their main activity will occur during the RSGP IOTA contest. Listen for them using CW sideband and FT8, FT4 on 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. The hams are Renato PY8WW, Renner PY7RP, and Alex PP1DX. Red DL1BUG will be using the call sign TY5FR from Medellin from the 7th of July through to the 4th of August. He will be on 160 through 10 meters where he will be operating CW and sideband. July will be off to a busy start for members of the Russian Robinson Club, who will spend the 4th through to the 9th of July operating as RI1ZR from 4 more islands off the coast of the Murmansk region. The team will be using CW sideband and possibly digital modes on 40 through 10 meters. Pierre VE3KTB is back on the air with the call sign VY0ERC from the Eureka Amateur Radio Club station on Ellesmere Island, IOTA number NA008, through to the 22nd of July. Listen for him on the HF bands operating CW, sideband, and FT8. Listen for the call sign CS5AIRA, which will be active from the Barra Lighthouse in Portugal on July 18th from 0900 UTC to 1700 UTC. Hams will be calling CQ on 20 and 40 meters as well as VHF and UHF frequencies. There will be activity as well via Echolink, Lusafona, the QO100 satellite, and DMR via Brandmeister talk groups 268 and 91. For other operating details or QSL information, visit the QRZ.com pages for each of these stations. Now they're older, wiser, and soon on the air as we hear from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
The push for youngsters' involvement, education, and adventure in amateur radio seems everywhere, from courses in STEM to intensive camps that promise a bit of work and a bit of play. Now into the mix comes the Wireless Institute of Australia, which has released a new publicity brochure that focuses on bringing new hams into the hobby. These are prospective hams who are a little bit, well, okay, maybe a whole lot more than a little bit older. In other words, this is recruitment for the grown-ups, the parents whose kids have moved out and moved away. It's for the retirees who want a challenge but not another job. It's for anyone who's come of age at a time when it's exciting to discover the ever-increasing options that come with having an amateur radio license. It might even be for grandmothers and grandfathers who want to operate portable with their ham radio operator grandkids. The brochure, unveiled at the recent WIA annual general meeting in Albury, Australia, targets them all. Those non-amateurs who may want to consider becoming older and wiser in the ways of radio science. It's something we can all grow into. For details, or if you wish copies of the brochure to distribute at club meetings, contact the Administrative Office of the Wireless Institute of Australia. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News, ARRL, Asia Business Daily, Axios, David B, RK7DB, EHAM.com, 425DX News, IARU, Mauritius Amateur Radio Society, NASA.gov, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, ShortwaveRadio.de, Space News, Wireless Institute of Australia, World Radio Sport Team Championship, Yasme Foundation, Youth on the Air Americas, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2 GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky. 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.
This is KD8SLG. We're about 12 minutes out from the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night club net. It's going to start at 8 o'clock. Stick around. It's sure to be a good time. It's KD8SLG clear. for those of you who like to play along at home, there is a NetLogger session open. Sarah Club Net. KD8SLG.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
W8WKY.
There's my girl and there's my node ID. QST. Calling all amateurs to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net. Right here on the W8WKY repeater in Doylestown, Ohio, 147 Mark 390. Positive offset and a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We meet here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock right after Newsline. Have a few laughs, check in with each other. Got a trivia question tonight, and a few brief announcements. This is a controlled net. We ask that all traffic pass through net control. Your net control operator this evening is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8SLG. My personal is Nick, November India Charlie Kilo, just Nick. And as this is a link system, I ask when everybody's checking in if you would key up for a couple of seconds before you start talking, and hang on for a second or two after you're done talking so I can hear everything you have to say. I am on an Allstar Node. This is the way it works. I'm going to take a couple rounds of in and out check-ins for those of you who just want to say hi, give a wave. Then we'll take a couple rounds of regular check-ins for those who want to stick around, play trivia, and have something to say. Do a little interacting tonight. It'll be a good time. We've had a busy year so far, folks. You know, Winter Field Day, Summer Field Day, a couple of POTA events, something else going on. I'm looking ahead to July to what to talk about tonight. You know what? We have a monthly meeting this month, July 16th. That's the only thing on the schedule right now for July. Everyone take a breath. Maybe we need a little break. Or maybe we don't. I will tell you this, though. I'm glad the weather was like it was on Saturday and not like today for Field Day. So there. August 1st, we have next test session coming up. Go to the w8wky.org website. Go to the Education tab. You find out all the information there you need to know if you want to get licensed or upgrade your license. August 15th is International Lighthouse Lightship Weekend. I think we're going to be doing something for that. We'll let Josh catch his breath from Field Day, and then we'll find out what they're doing there. August 20th is our next meeting, and August 22nd is Ohio QSO Party. One of the questions I want to ask everybody tonight is K3LR Tour, which I've been talked to Terry today again. I kind of wanted to do it in July, so I'd have something to talk about tonight, but that's just not going to happen. Tim Duffy's pretty busy. I asked her to look back. Last time we went was October 12th in 2024, and I really liked the weather that day. And I thought it was very pleasant to take that hour-plus drive into Pennsylvania through the changing leaves colors. So we may be setting that for October. But, I wanted some feedback. If you guys want to try to do it during the summer, we can do that. But I'm thinking October sounds pretty good. So that's one thing I'm asking everybody about tonight. That's it for announcements, guys. Field Day went very well, I think. Josh and Doug and everybody who was involved in making that happen. Nick at the Smoker, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. It was a good time. So hope to hear some Field Day stories tonight. I'm not asking for any announcements tonight. If you want to make an announcement, check in and do it during the net, if you would, please. With that, before I start taking check-ins, is there any emergency or priority traffic? Please call now. Nothing heard. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during the net, say break, get my attention. We'll slow things down and do what we can to help you out. That being said, In and out check-ins for the Sarah Clubnet. In and outs only. This is W8WKY. I'm listening.
Okay, Bravo 8, Victor, Mike, Whiskey, Jim in Barberton. Great shindig.
Mark and Wadsworth. In and out.
E8, Charlie Tango Mike, carry at Portage Lakes, and I'll be in and out. Kilo Delta 9 Zulu Golf Zulu, Kilo Delta 9 Zulu Golf Zulu, Joe from Wisconsin. I'll be in and out.
Kilo 8, Mike, Romeo, Echo, K8, MRE, Mike, Franklin, in and out.
KF8, GGC, Marianne from Wadsworth, in and out.
KC8, YKP, Brian, down in Shelby. I'll just be in and out, I guess. KE8, VOX, in and out.
Very good. Thanks, guys. Nice orderly list of check-ins. Let me tell you who I heard. WBAVMW Jim, I got you at the top of the list, in and out. You, and good night there, buddy. We'll talk to you dark and early tomorrow. KE8SFS, Mark, I got you in there. W8CTM, the closer for the barometer net. You're on the list. KD9ZGZ, Joel, I got you from Wisconsin. Thanks for stopping by. Stick around. We'll have some fun. Listen in. K8MRE, Mike, I got you in and out. KF8GGC, Marianne, I heard you there. Got you. Brian, down in Shelby. KC8YKP, got you in and out. Thanks, Brian. And KE8VOX up on the North Coast. Scott, have a good night, man. Catch you in the morning as well. Who else is out there? In and outs only right now. In and outs only, please. This is WWKY. I'm listening.
Please check in KB8LNK, in and out.
Check in KS8ERM, in and out.
All right, we picked up a couple more there. We got KB8LNK. Ron, good to hear you, my man. I'm going to be giving you a call soon. Thanks for checking in and out tonight. Then I had KF8ERN, I believe it was. It's coming up as Alexander. I didn't have a name or a location, so I'm not sure of that call sign. Can you confirm, please? Kilo Foxtrot 8 Echo Romeo November.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Echo Romeo November. Roger, roger. That is correct. I am still correcting a small issue with my address on the actual site, so
Well, that's all good, man. Sometimes those things take a little time to follow through, and I don't keep my mine updated daily as I should. But I wanted to make sure I had that right. I wasn't sure if it was an E or an 8 when you checked in. So KF8ERN, I got you in and out there. Thanks, man. All right, we're good for in and outs, I think. That's all I heard. Let's get the real folks in here, the ones who are going to stick around and say hi. And I don't mean to discount the in and outs. I love in and outs. But let's see who's sticking around tonight. This is WWKY. I'm listening.
Kilo Charlie 1. Quebec. KC1VQS. Paul, Mobile.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Alpha India Zulu, WB4AIZ.
November Tango 8 Delta, NT 8D, Dave Copley.
WKY.
Please copy Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India KE8 UIB John Maslin.
Kilo Charlie 8 Yankee Foxtrot Oscar KC8 YFO Andy Medina.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
KD8VYT, Russ in Akron.
Whiskey 2, Juliet, Lima, Sierra, John W2, JLS in Fairlawn.
Kilo 4, Oscar Golf, K4OG, Mark in Copley.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Kilo Oscar Charlie, WA8KOC, Fred, Akron.
Pick it up there, guys. I'll tell you who I got. I had a few doubles in there, so I may have missed you. So listen closely. We got KD80PC to lead us off. I snuck him in there. KC1VQS, Paul, I got you mobile. Hang on. WB4AIZ, Chuckles down in Florida. KE8VQX, Joe, I snuck you in there. NT8D, Dave. KE8ZZR, you were battling with somebody and you won. We'll come back and find out who that was. Then I have KE8UIB and KF8DTP, John and Lori, the Giggle Twins. KC8YFO, Andy, I got you in there from Medina. WO3X, John, gotcha. KD8VYT, Russ, sounding good. W2JLS, my brother from another mother. KE8ZHG, recovering from field day, I bet. K4OG, also recovering from field day. And WA8KOC, Fred. That's who I got out of that. I know there were two doubles in there. Who did I miss? This is WKY. I'm listening.
November 8, Mike Whiskey Sierra, Pete, Jackson Township, Stark County.
MWS got you in there, Pete. Anybody else? For trivia tonight on the Sarah Club Net. This is WKY. I'm listening. All right, I added KC0LRM. Kelly, I saw you join us there, so I stuck you in there, Kelly. You're on the list now. All right, let's go do the trivia question. We'll start there tonight. And Dustin, you'll be up after this. Actually, Paul, you'll be up because you're mobile. Here's the question tonight. When early government regulators sought to curb commercial and military interference in the early 20th century, they relegated amateurs to shortwave spectrum. They did this believing the frequencies were, quote, useless, unquote. What was the exact wavelength boundary amateurs were initially exiled to? Alpha, 50 meters and down. Bravo, 100 meters and down. Charlie, 200 meters and down. Or Delta, 400 meters and down. One more time. When early government regulators sought to curb commercial and military interference in the early 20th century, they relegated amateurs to shortwave spectrum. They did this believing the frequencies were, quote, useless, unquote. What was the exact wavelength boundary amateurs were initially exiled to? Alpha, 50 meters and down. Bravo, 100 meters and down. Charlie, 200 meters and down. Or Delta, 400 meters and down. This is WKY. First up is Dustin, KD80PC. How you doing tonight, buddy? What do you got for the group? When would you want to go on a K3LR tour if you went? What's your answer to trivia tonight? Go, buddy.
All right there, Nick. Well, I'm going to make it short and sweet.
I totally missed your trivia question because I was reading something on my phone there. So just give me Delta for that. October sounds like a good time to me. Leaves are changing. Weather is temperate. But you'll have to let me know. I may try to get the day off and come this time around. That's all I've got for you. Wave a hand at Paul and everybody else there. And make sure you join Nick tomorrow for the Boredom Breaker Net, 1 o'clock our time. And then tomorrow night, me and Nick and the crew will be there for the Beacon Net. So be there or be square. All right, Nick, 73. We'll catch you later. KDEDPC, back to net control.
Thanks for the plug, Dustin. Yeah, Dustin's taking tomorrow off, so I'll be running the Boredom Breaker Net. So stop on by tomorrow afternoon. Should be a good time. Got you down for Delta. Thanks, Dustin. We're going to clear with KD80PC. Let's go to Paul, who I promised to be first. Sorry, Paul. KC1VQS, KDSLG. How you doing tonight, Paul? What's going on in Maine?
Well, good evening, Nick. Yeah, I tried to get on the barometer net this morning, and I couldn't get logged in. I tried Allstar, I tried Echolink, and I wasn't able to get logged in until around 9 o'clock, so I don't know what was wrong with my setup. But anyway, it's all good now. I'm on my way home. My daughter and son-in-law invited me out to play mini golf and have an ice cream tonight, and so that was fun. I enjoyed that very much. So, yeah, I'm about 15 minutes away from home, and just a wonderful, beautiful evening here in Maine this evening. For the trivia, I'm going to go with Delta, I think, just a guess. And I'll catch you on, hopefully I'll be on the barometer net in the morning, and I'll try to do the Boredom Breaker also. Thanks for taking my check-in, 7-3. Have a great evening. Back to you, Nick. This is KC1VQS.
KC1VQS W8WKY. Paul, good to hear you. I got you down for Delta. And don't worry, your equipment was working fine this morning. But there was something wrong with the Allstar system here at the repeater site. The only way I could fix it during the net would be to do just like a hard reboot and kick everybody off, and they'd all have to rejoin. But it was working. I just couldn't see anybody, and the dashboard wasn't working, and apparently some people couldn't get in. So I'm sorry for that. Jason can get in there with a scalpel and figure out what's going on. I have to do a sledgehammer. So there you go. You shouldn't have any problems tomorrow morning. So we'll be listening for you. Thanks, Paul. Drive safe. We're going to clear with KC1VQS. Let's go down to Florida and check in with Chuckles, WB4AIZ. This is W8WKY. How you doing tonight, Chuck? What's your answer to the trivia, and what do you got for the group?
What's going on here? No idea on the trivia. And I think we had some rain today, but not much. Anyways, tomorrow's the 1st of July. How about that? So, hope everybody has a good night. And I'll do my usual Beacon Net, in and out, but anyways, everybody take care. WB4AIZ.
All right, Chuggles, I put you down for D since you passed on the trivia question, and you're still going to have to talk to me tomorrow night if you want me to check you into the Beacon Net, okay? I can't check you in this early. Thanks, Chuck. It's good talking to you. We're going to clear with WB4AIZ. This is WWKY. You're listening to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net. I'm WWKY, and next on the list we got Joe, KE8VQX. WWKY. How are you, Joe? Would you be interested in going to on a tour of DX Engineering and going out to K3LR in Pennsylvania and checking out the superstation? And what's your answer to the trivia question?
W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Good evening, Nick, and everyone on the net. Yeah, I'd love to go check that place out. Driven past it a whole bunch. obviously never went in there. October sounds good to me, but probably whenever you pick, I'll be working. But we'll see. Maybe not. I've been mucking out lately. Trivia question, I haven't the faintest idea what the answer is, so I'm going to go with A. You haven't gotten any of those yet. Of course, you've only got 3 or 4 guys, people answering it so far. So I'm going to go with A, alpha. Thanks for getting me in, Nick. Good seeing you briefly at field day, and you invited me to eat, so I did eat. That was good. Thanks again. This is K8VQX, back to W8WKY.
It was great seeing you at field day, and the eats were really good. And I drove past that place for years and years and years before I was a ham, and always wondered what was going on. I got to tell you, once you get down there, what you see from Route 80 there does not do it justice, man. It really doesn't. You would not believe what's on the ground underneath those antennas you can see from the highway. Got you down for Alpha, Joe, and we'll try to coordinate schedules, but I know what you're saying. We're going to clear K8VQX. Let's go to Dave, NT8D. This is WWKY. How you doing, Dave? Would you like to go see DX Engineering and K3LR? I think again. And what's your answer to the trivia question? Go, Dave.
Good evening there, just Nick. Everybody on the net, all the listeners. Yeah, I would be happy to head back there. I think autumn sometime, September, October, and time when the weather's just starting to cool down, changing the leaves, nice drive. Was back there before, man, and I was there when the guy was up in the top of the tower doing his work, and it was a blast. So I'll go back again, I think. Yeah, that's my family's from that part of the world, in Hermitage and Sharon there, so that's a nice trip for me. I'm going to stop by Daffin's to get some candy if I go there. Let's see, trivia. You know, I'm going to go with Delta, although I want to make sure all the other letters get covered. So if there's a letter that does not get covered there, Nick, you can always switch me to that letter just to make sure they're all good. And let's see, anything else? Oh, had a freaking trip to the dentist today. Don't like those. Not a good trip. Anything else? Oh, great field day. The food was fantastic. I'm waiting to see how everything did. And yes, Lighthouse is coming up. We're setting up at the Lighthouse Museum in Fairport. I think there's an opportunity to do some POTA over at Headland State Park there. It's a gorgeous park. And there's some good eating perch and walleye there as well. So stay tuned for the Lighthouse event. We will make that happen. NT8D, back to W8WKY. Thanks, Nick.
NT8D, W8WKY. Got you down for Delta, Dave. And Lighthouses sounds fun. I know you guys went up there and did a little exploratory field trip. And everything went well. So looking good for that and looking forward to what we're going to do there. Thanks, Dave. We're going to clear with NT8D, listening to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Club Net. This is W8WKY. And next up we got one of the stars from field day, KE8ZZR. Couldn't have happened without you. How you doing tonight, Harry? What do you think about going to check out K3LR and DX Engineering? And what's your answer to trivia tonight?
W8WKY, this is KE8ZZR. Good evening, Nick, and everybody else that's on the net. Hey, let's see here. I would love to go see that station. I missed it last year because we were camping, and October would be perfect to go there. So I would go with late September, October would be fine, and hopefully I'll know early enough before I make plans for camping. So that's what my thoughts are. I thought field day went very well. I didn't operate. I just kind of assisted and helped out and had a great time. It was great seeing everybody there. We had a great crowd. And best of all, it was good to see the young kids the GOTA station and stuff. I kind of had mixed signals there in the beginning, but in the end there, I thought that was really awesome. So hats off to everybody that put the field day together. It was a great event. So trivia question, how about A? I'm looking at the band planes and whatnot, and I'm just going to go with A, Alpha. So with that, Nick, I'll turn it back to you. And this is KE8ZZR Clear.
KE8ZZR WWKY. Fine business, Harry. Fine business. I think field day was awesome. Thanks for all your help. I got you down for Alpha tonight. Thanks, Harry. We're going to clear with KE8ZZR. Let's get out of Maslin and talk to the Giggle Twins. KE8UIB, you're up first, John. We'll save Lori for later. How you doing tonight? You got your parents on the phone. What are their answers? What's your answer? And how did field day go for Maslin? Let us know. KE8UIB, WWKY. Go, John.
W8WKY from KA8UIB. Good evening, Nick, and everybody out there on the net. And let me see, Nick, we'll knock trivia out of the way first. I'm doing the back and forth with Mom and Dad. My folks say hi, Nick, and everybody out there on the net. And they are going with the letter C for Charlie, and I'm going to take D for Delta. And hey, we'll just see how that ends up, you guys. And field day. Oh, Nick, it was spectacular, man. I had a really, really great time. It was definitely a big field day event for the Maslin and stuff, and we got to watch Lori chase down the Maslin Police Department just so she could get a picture of the for the club with the police department. So hey, and we did accomplish, I think, close to like 750 contacts. So that was really it was really a great time, and I hope you guys had a great field day and stuff. I was just looking at some of the pictures from the Sarah Club field day, and it looked like it was a blast too. So that was great to see, and you know, and Lori and I and all the Maslin Club, yeah, we had a really great time. It was definitely a good year for them. So that is for sure. And with that, you guys, this is you guys know me, K8UIB, living that $5 dream, a nickel at a time on a very, very hot Tuesday evening. So I will go ahead and hand this back over to net control before the wife steps up. This is K8UIB.
KE8UIB WWKY. We'll have to get together and compare some field day notes. We did have a really good time. It was great being outside. I'm going to say this again. I am so glad the weather was 70s and a little misty and not like it was today, 90s and really humid. So there. All right, I got you down. I got you down for Delta, and I got your folks down for Charlie's. So we got you logged there. And hand that microphone over to KF8DTP. This is WWKY. What do you got for us, Lori? Tell us about the police.
W8WKY from KF8DTP. Let's see. Let me give you my answer to my trivia. I'm going to go with A. I don't really know the answer, so I'm just going to go with A. And yeah, we had, you know, in the park, we all know that the cops go in through there. And I just said, hey guys, let me know when they're coming. I'll go get them so we can get our picture. We was eating and they all said, Lori, the cops are here. And I took off running, and I went running, and I got the cops. And we told them if they came over and did a picture with us, they could get the food. Next thing I know, here come 2 more cop cruisers rolling in. So we had 3 cop cars sitting there to take a picture. So yeah, it was a great time. I made my first contact on FT8 on field day, so I'm super excited. Hold on one sec.
W8WKY.
Sorry about that, I had to cough. So I was really super excited. I made my first contact and on FT8. So I was really excited. It was my first actual field day doing something. So with that, Nick, I'm going to hand it back over to you. This is KF8 DTP. I'll be clear. 7-3, y'all.
KF8 DTP WKY. Got you down for Alpha for tonight's trivia question, Lori, and congratulations on your first contact on field day. I didn't actually make a contact this year. I never got around to sitting down at a radio. It's too busy throwing logs in the smoker for Nick. Did you feed the police? That's the big question. You know, I don't know. Did you have donuts and coffee? Get clear with KF8 DTP. Next up, we've got Andy, KC8YFO. We were all sporting your artwork on field day, Andy. Good to hear you tonight. How you doing? What's your answer to the trivia question, and what did you think about field day?
Hey there, Nick. Well, everybody looked absolutely handsome and lovely in that artwork, so I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. Let's see, for trivia, I'm going to go, I can't remember now, but I'm going to go with 100 meters. I can't remember what the letter was. But otherwise, hey, yeah, field day was a blast. I did about 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Most of the time on 80, and definitely made a ton of contacts. So that was good. And it was good to see Josh, Harry, and I believe that he brought breakfast. So thank you for that. It was very good, the breakfast casserole. So, but it was just great hanging out, doing some radio all night long. So with that, back to you, Nick. And thank you for everything as always. That was a great location that Josh got. P.S. KC8YFO.
Fine business, Andy. Fine business. Yeah, Harry had his finger in all kinds of pies for field day, and it wouldn't have happened without him. So thanks again, Harry. And thank you for your T-shirt submission. We were all wearing them. I'm actually sporting one right now. And I got you down for Bravo. Thanks, Andy. Have a great night. We'll catch you later on. Oh, one more question. Hey, if you were in town, would you be interested in a tour of DX Engineering and the K3LR Superstation?
100%. And yeah, the timing I am totally open to as long as I'm in town. That would be really, really cool.
Awesome. It's a super time. I talked to Terry today, and she's kind of excited about having us back. We're limited to about 20 people, so it could be, you guys may have to cage match over it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thanks, Andy. Going to clear with KC8YFO. Let's go to John, WO3X. This is WKY. How you doing tonight, John? What's your answer to the trivia question, and what do you want to share with the group?
W8WKY, this is WO3X, John here in Cuyahoga Falls. Good evening, Nick, and all on the net. Let's see here. On the trivia question, I also am going to go with 100 meters, which is B Bravo. For field day, I got out to the park there according to my schedule there. After having operated as WO3X1 Echo Ohio, starting at 2 p.m. Saturday, and so I was scheduled to operate on 80 meters for 2 hours, and then go to 40 meters for another 4 hours. But nobody showed up for the fifth and sixth hour. There wasn't anybody scheduled, so I operated all the way through to 6 o'clock, and I saw how many contacts had been made on 40 meters, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to get that up to 500, which I did, and then and beyond. So that all worked out great. And then for a change on Sunday after 2 o'clock, I stopped W3X1 Echo Ohio at 2 o'clock, then went out to Groundhog Hill there and did the tear down, and for a change there was no big shower burst when we were completing the tear down, which it had done that for the last few years. So it all worked out great. So this is W3X back to the net.
Yeah, John, it seems like either Saturday when you're putting up antennas and or Sunday when you're taking them down, there just needs to be a cloud burst right before that takes place, just to add a little lubrication to the situation. Got you down for Bravo. Sounds like you guys are running some huge numbers. Looking forward to seeing it. Thanks, son. We're going to clear with W03X. This is Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, Tuesday Night Club Net. I'm WWKY, Nick here. And next up we got Russ, KD8VYT. Russ, how you doing, man? It's good seeing you at the meeting. What you got for trivia tonight? What do you want to share with the group? And what would you think about running out to K3LR and DX Engineering for a tour?
Well, first of all, how am I coming through?
Like you're sitting next to me. It's scary. You sound good.
Well, this is a brand new radio I just picked up today. And while I was up there at DX Engineering, I was sitting there waiting on my item to come out, and I was looking around, and I'm thinking, man, wouldn't it be great to get a tour of this place? So I would be interested in the DX Engineering tour, but as far as going out to the site, I don't get around too well. I don't think I'd do too well walking around out there. So I probably wouldn't be up for that. But I would enjoy a tour of DX Engineering. As far as the trivia goes, I don't have a clue. So just put me down for D like everybody else. And I think that's all I got. KD8VYT 73.
Oh, Russ, you don't get to run away that easily. I got you down for Delta. When we went 2 years ago, Jake was with us, and that was a hard, with no way we could get down the steps. They did have a golf cart, drive some people around to check some things out, so some accommodations. But when we went last time, we couldn't do a DX Engineering back of house because they had something going on. So I'm looking forward to that part of it as well, Russ. But don't run away, because what radio did you get?
I picked up the ICOM IC2730A dual band, because my 73, not 7300, the 711, the Kenwood 711 I had bit the dust, so I needed to replace it. So I just got this mobile one. I can't afford another base. So that's what I got. KD8VYT.
Fine radio, man. Fine radio. Ron's got one in his truck. He uses his main radio in there, actually, I would say. And I think Nick at Night has one. If I were to get one, I would get one with the black screen, because I like black with white LCD letters. It's just easier on my eyes somehow. But fine purchase, and it sounds really good, Russ. Sounds really good. So I hope to hear you on the radio some more now, buddy. We're going to clear with KD8VYT. Let's go to my brother from another mother up in Fairlawn, W2JLS. This is KD8SLG. How you doing, John? What do you think about a trip to K3LR and DX Engineering, and your answer to trivia, and anything else you got for us tonight? Go, buddy.
Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee, my brother from another mother, KD8SLG.
Yeah, so let's cover this in order. I think you're asking about the trip. I'm definitely keen on that. I like going to DX Engineering. And I've never been on the ground at the other site, and boy, that sounds great. I've driven past it and thought, holy cow, that place is, if any place is radioactive without a Geiger counter, that's it. So, yeah, count me in for that, and I don't care when you do it. I like the idea of the fall, though. It's nice to have something to look forward to. Let's see, the trivia question. I was knee-deep in clearing yardage. Now, for those of you out there that are, apt to let weeds go, if you let some of them go, it's enough to become trees. So bring a saw. I was clearing a patch of stuff I let go a little bit behind a little shed I've got out back there behind, adjacent to my excuse for a greenhouse. So I did get the question. I'm going to go, I don't know the choices by letter, but I'm going to guess the one that was 50 and up, I believe. So that'll be my guess, whatever choice that was. Thanks for having me in the air tonight, brother. With that, I will wish everybody a good evening on their ears, and if you would be so kind, I would be liking to jump into that Colorado Astronomy Net later, if that works. If not, that's cool too. Anyway, 73, y'all.
W2GLS, I got you down for a vote for the fall for DX and then K3LR. That's one I would prefer to go to. I got you down for Alpha, which is 50 meters and down. And good hearing you too. And once we're done here, I'll link us up to the Colorado Net. Do me a favor and text me that node number again, please. I have it written down somewhere, but it saved me a minute. Thanks, John. We're going to clear with W2GLS. This is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net. I'm W8WKY Nick here. And next up, we've got Doug, Social Committee Extraordinaire. The food and everything was fabulous at Field Day, Doug. KE8ZHG, W8WKY. What do you got for us tonight, Doug? What's your trivia question answer? And what do you think? When would you like to go tour DX Engineering and K3LR? Go, Doug.
Hey, Nick. This is KE8ZHG. I'm just out here hanging in the backyard. I think it's cooler outside now than it is in our house. But as far as DX Engineering goes, I'd like field trips with those little kids. So count me in. I think September or October would be fine with me. And had a really good time at the field day. Everything went really smoothly. I don't really have any embarrassing stories to tell. Also want to thank Harry, Ida, Dick, Laura, and Marianne for helping out, bringing food. I was pretty surprised I got my picture on the cover of the Medina Gazette. That was surprising. I was pretty focused. I didn't even know that someone had taken my picture. So when Harry sent me the picture, I was pretty surprised. But I think that's all I have. On the question, I'm going to go with a 50 meters down below. But that's all I have. 73 to everyone.
A little scratchy from the backyard, but we copied every word. Fine business on Field Day. It was a really good time. Thanks for all that you and your crew did. Got you down for Alpha tonight, and that was you being one with the radio on the Gazette picture. That's what that was. We're going to clear with KE8ZHG. Have a good night, Doug. Next up, we got the original gangsta K40G Mark doing satellites at Field Day. And the ISS, I hear. What do you want to tell us tonight, Mark, and what's your answer to the trivia question? And what do you think, man? What do you think about a fall trip to K3LR and DX Engineering?
W8WKY, K8SLG, just Nick. Man, you read my mind, Nick. I was going to ask you if you'd like to join me out in the antenna field and wait for the giant Baofeng in the sky to shower us with little radios if we're good. So there you go. I'm going to give you my answer to my trivia question. It's no great deductive powers of reasoning tonight. I'm just going to go with WO3X and trust Bravo as the answer. And I got many stories. I'd probably time it out. Let's see if we can do a few. I'm going to save the satellite contact itself for Josh. He gets real excited about that. Scott, KD8 RWX, he was instrumental in getting the Wi-Fi, that satellite Wi-Fi out to my place. Thank you, Scott. And Chris, MMY, when he showed up, he stuck to me through thick and thin all the way into the morning, helping me tear down and get all that packed up. Harry was instrumental in being safety officer and letting me, he said, Mark, just go set up your satellite. And thank you, Harry, so much for doing that. And Nick, I think you found you another safety officer. Then there's that nap photo. Well, I'd already taken one nap between like 3:30, 4, and 6, and woke up and did some pre-teardowns. Ken Dorsey kind of followed suit, but he didn't know, and I didn't know that Marianne and Marianne and Jason were still at it. And I said, oh gosh, they're going to go till 2 in the afternoon. I'm going to get another nap in because I'm out of niceties and everything, and I got to go take me an anti-grumpy nap. So I woke up like 11:15 and saw the flag still out there, and when I woke up around, 12-ish, everything was down. So I want to thank Benny, DEO, and Harry again, ZZR, John, W2JLS, and Joe, VQX. They were awesome going at it, cleaning things up, tearing it down. The only thing that was left was like mounds of equipment that were being piled into Jason's truck, Josh's van, somebody else's van. It was just stuff being piled off and distributed everywhere. Great time. I had a blast. K4OG, back to W8WKY.
Oh, giving it an extra second there for anybody that may have timed out. We were close there. We were close. Nah, repeater wasn't. I know there's lots of stories to tell, man. I'm looking forward to hearing them. And everybody did a fine job, and I'm so happy I wasn't there for teardown on Sunday morning. I'm smiling now. I can't hide it. I had a bunch of rugrats running around this place taking care of Audrey's nieces and nephews and making food and setting up slip and slides, but I missed teardown. Thank you. Dude, did you give a trivia answer? Because I missed it if you did.
Same as WO3X, Bravo.
Now I remember, of course. Thanks, Mark. Fine business, man, as always. Just a great job, and Harry did a great job. I'm just going to say that again. Thanks, man. Got you down for Bravo. Going to clear with K4OG. Let's talk to Fred. Haven't talked to him since early this morning. WA8KOC, WKY. How you doing tonight, Fred? What's on your mind? What do you think about Tor and K3LR and DX, and what's your trivia answer tonight? Go, Fred.
Well, good evening, Just Nick, and to everybody else in here enjoying the net with you. Fabulous question. I guess we'll answer that first. I'll go with A Alpha, and I am so sorry that I missed field day, but my eldest son's birthday was the 27th, so it was a little important one. 46 years old. He's on the other side of 45, approaching 50, and I figured he needed some consolation. But, I am sure that everything went fine. Josh, the operating committee, all those folks do a fabulous job. I'm sure that the setup and teardown went smoothly because of all the folks that are involved with that. And also, when it comes to things like safety officer Harry's fabulous. does a great job. And I'm sure it was fun had by all, hoping that all the contacts made give Silvercreek a really, really nice number at the end. And as far as K3LR goes, if I am around, I would be glad to partake of that in the fall. I know you guys have gone out there before, and I am sorry to have missed that at that time, but sounds like a pretty cool deal and pretty interesting. So probably a learning experience, especially for somebody as foolish as me. So with that, I will look forward to talking to you and everybody else in the morning if they want to come in. We've been a little bit light on the check-ins on the barometer net, but I think that people are probably getting out and trying to get things done in the cool of the day prior to 4 or 5 o'clock when it runs up to being like 95 degrees with 108 heat index. It's miserable out there. That's okay. We'll live with it, and it's going to get better in the near future. W8WKY, thanks for taking my check-in, Nick. 7-3 to you and everybody else. WA8KOC.
WA8KOC, W8WKY. Got you down for Alpha, Fred. And I think you're a little late this morning because there were probably about 15 nodes and repeaters that are usually hooked up weren't. So I just couldn't fix it until everybody was out of there today. And then Jason fixed it anyway. So there. Thanks, Fred. I will talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning. It'll probably be 80 degrees by the time I talk to you at 7 a.m. Isn't that something to look forward to? Have a great night, Fred. We're going to clear with WA8KOC. This is W8WKY. And next up, we got Pete, MWS. How you doing tonight, Pete? What do you think about a trip to K3LR and DX Engineering? And what's your answer to this review tonight? And what do you got for us? I bet you have a brief announcement of some kind.
N8MWS, W8WKY, Nick, hi, and hello to everybody else out there on the net tonight. Thanks for having me. So yes, on the DX Engineering trip, I was just actually looking that up, and I found this old article about that station, and that would be awesome. I would love to do that. As far as the trivia question, I hate to ask this, but I'm going to have you repeat the whole thing so that I can pick correctly, because I missed that. So if you could do that first, I'm going to unkey and let you try that.
I sure can, Pete, and I'm sure there's a few people coming up behind you that may not have been here for the read initially, and maybe some other people joined us, so this is a good opportunity to jump in and do that. Here is the question. When early government regulators sought to curb commercial and military interference in the early 20th century, they relegated amateurs to shortwave spectrum. They did this believing the frequencies were, quote, useless, unquote. What was the exact wavelength boundary amateurs were initially exiled to? Alpha, 50 meters and down, Bravo, 100 meters and down, Charlie, 200 meters and down, Delta, 400 meters and down. One more time. When early government regulators sought to curb commercial and military interference in the early 20th century, they relegated amateurs to shortwave spectrum. They did this believing the frequencies were, quote, useless, unquote. What was the exact wavelength boundary amateurs were initially exiled to? Alpha, 50 meters and down, Bravo, 100 meters and down, Charlie, 200 meters and down, or Delta, 400 meters and down. Go, Pete.
All right, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I'm going to pick B, Bravo, as my answer. And the other traffic I have is, I wish I could do field day with not only you guys, Maslin Club, but every single year, it's the Nash Family Jackson Amphitheater Community Celebration, which is the last weekend of June, and I'm tied up over there. We had a great event once again. We had 6 bands over the course of 4 days, Wednesday through Saturday. my band played on Friday. Everything went great. We had no major incidents. There was everybody was safe. We had a great fireworks show on Saturday with Disco Inferno. So, you know, I love doing that, but my heart's with ham radio. So I miss Field Day every year because of that, and that's probably not going to end anytime soon because I'm going to do this until I can't do it anymore. I'll turn 65 in January, and I'm going to go strong and, you know, into my 70s. My lighting designer, or my video engineer is 72, so I'm going to keep doing it. Other than that, we have a show on Thursday, Dirty Deeds, AC/DC tribute. Love to have you guys come out. Other thing that I keep telling everybody is Big Boy 4014 steam engine is on the East Coast right now and is coming back through Ohio. July 14th, we'll be in Fostoria, Ohio. My wife and I already have plans. We're going there, actually going the night before to stay at a hotel so we can get there early. And it'll actually be on display for like from 9 to like 5 or something like that. My wife's standing right here. So you can actually, you know, stand right there and see it. It's an amazing thing to see this old steam engine, which is the largest in the world, running. So hope people can get out there. Fostoria is only a couple hours away from here, so try to get out there July 14th. That's all I got, guys. Nick, thank you very much. Love you guys, and 7-3s, W8WKY from N8MWS, back to net control.
N8MWS, WKY, got you down for Bravo, Pete. Thanks for all that. And Big Boy was in Elyria and someplace else up north not long ago, a week or two ago. A bunch of the guys went and got photos. So, yeah, Big Boy's something to see. I know Josh's kids loved the whistle blowing in their ears. We're going to conclude with N8MWS. Thanks, Pete. And let's go out to Kansas, I think, and talk to Kelly. KC0LRM, WKY. How you doing tonight, Kelly? What's your answer? And I'm not going to ask you about the field trip because that's a heck of a trip for you. How you doing, buddy?
WKY, thanks for keeping there, Nick. Forgot to wave a hand at Dustin there on the blue screen, but he disappeared probably. Okay, well, not a lot going on here, hot, and let me give my trivia answer before I forget. I'm going to go with Alpha because I recently watched a video, so I think I might be up on it a little bit. Maybe we'll see. Could be wrong. And by the way, too, K5CFY says me proxy men if I can do that. So he was over there running a 2-meter net there in Tulsa. So not a lot going on here. Guess I quit my job here in Wichita, so I'm going to be commuting back to Tulsa a couple days a week again. So back to that again. So I thought I was through with that, but oh well. It is what it is. Didn't get to do much on field day. I kind of burned up my dipoles, so I don't know what I did. Something. SWR went from 1.1 to +3, so I didn't get to use that, so I got to do some work on that. So that's about it. Thanks for getting me in there, and everybody have a good one. And yes, I would like to do a tour of DX Engineering. That'd be kind of cool someday. All right, back to you, Nick. If I can get my...
If you can get your Echolink. Oh, good to talk to you tonight, Kelly. I'm sorry to hear you're going to be commuting again. But I know you get a hold of us when you're in Oklahoma, too. So good to talk to you tonight, man. I got you down for Alpha. We'll see how that works out for you. We're going to clear with KC0LRM. I did add K5CFY. You can go back and tell Ray that we honored him with an in-and-out tonight. He's a member, too. And running the net at the same time down in Oklahoma. Thanks, Kelly. We're going to clear with KC0LRM again. I did pick up a few. I harvested a few from the blue screen. K8MNT, Tom's out there. K8QFT, Uncle Fred. And KD2HCE, Chris was in and out. Thanks for stopping by, Chris. Anybody else out there? This is going to be last call for anybody who wants to answer trivia questions for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, Tuesday Night Club Net. I'm W8WKY, and I'm listening.
W8. Kilo 3 Mike Bravo Charlie. Kilo 3 Mike Bravo Charlie. Mark in Pasadena, Texas.
WA8KOC in the net, Whiskey 8 Tango Delta.
Please copy November 7, Victor Alpha November, and 7 VAN mobile.
Kilo 8 Kilo Charlie Sierra K8 KCS, Zach in Dalton.
All right. We added a few there. K3NBC, Mark out in Texas. WATD, John. Got you in there, John. N7VAN, Mobile, Brian, you're in there. And Zach, K8KCS. Not on your note, I see. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, real quick, do any of you guys need the question reread, or did you already hear the question? If you need it reread, one of you key up and let me know. Very good, nothing heard. Let's go to Brian, N7VAN in the mobile. Get you first, Brian. How you doing tonight, ma'am? What do you think? Would you go on tour K3LR and DX Engineering? And if you did, would you rather it be summer or maybe early fall? And what's your answer to the trivia question? What do you got going on? Go, Brian.
Hey, Nick. Hey, everybody out there on the net. Yeah, it is sweltering out here. I'm at stop destinated right now, but just sitting in my car with the door open, and I am dripping sweat. I do K3LR. That sounds really cool. I know I missed it last time. I would love to catch it on the flip side if there's an opportunity. And as far as the trivia goes, I'm going to go with B Bravo. I think that was the 100 meters, 100 meters. So B Bravo. If not, just B Bravo. Okay. Thanks for taking my call. N7VAN.
Very good, man. The tour is a really good time, and the station is stunning. You won't believe it when you get down there. We're going to clear with N7VAN. He's got Bravo tonight. Let's go up to Tom, see what he's up to tonight. K8MNT, WWKY. What do you got, Tom?
W8WKY. This is K88MNT. Good evening, Nick, and everybody else. Well, let's see. Like everybody, I'm kind of sweltering, and the temperature has dropped down to 86 down here. But I'm hoping it goes a lot further before I go to bed. Let's see. Before I do forget, I'm going to go with Bravo for the question. And if that isn't right, I'm going to go with Bravo again. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, been kind of busy. I've been in process of helping out one of the guys making some type of a antenna automatic selection control. And I'm in the process of designing the enclosure for it. And then another guy wants a gear for his VCR that broke, and I'm going to be getting together with that and printing that out for him so that he can do that. So I've been kind of busy doing a lot of other things this past couple of weeks. So as I said, I want Bravo, and I'm going to turn everything back over because all I'm doing is rambling. So this is K88MNT back to W8WKY.
Why? Because we love you, Tom. I got you down for Bravo tonight, man. No worries. We'll catch you in the morning. Stay cool tonight if you can. It's going to be another hot one tomorrow. Good talking to you, Tom. We're going to clear with K88MNT. This is WWKY. Next up, we got Uncle Fred. K8QFT, WWKY. What do you got, Uncle Fred? What do you got for us? What's your trivia question? I think you went on the tour last time, as I recall. You had a good time, didn't you? Go, Fred.
K8QFT, Fred here in Medina, the northern side of town. First, the trivia. Since I've been listening, most of the people have picked B, so I'm going to go with B. I'm looking over people's shoulders, you know. Field day. You know, I a few hours on it, and I made a few contacts. Okay, but the most interesting one, I don't think we're counting our total score, but I got to talk to. I made contact with Paris, France. So, yeah. And yeah, I would go on that tour again because I dropped my coffee, the big coffee, like mugs that they gave us, and the handle broke on it, so maybe we'll get another one. That's about all I have for now. K8QFT, back to net control. Thanks, Nick.
Fred wants to go on the tour again and get some more DX Engineering swag. I got you, Fred. I still got mine. I think I got pencils in mine or something. It's being used for something obvious. Got you down for Bravo tonight. Thanks, Fred. And we'll catch you later on. It was great seeing you on field day. We're going to clear with KE8QFT. This is WKY. Next up, we got Mark out in Pasadena, Texas. K3MBC, he's been pulling some shifts on the Beacon Net if you check into that one. Good to hear you tonight, Mark. What's going on? What's your answer to the trivia question? And tell us about Pasadena, Texas today.
WKY, this is K3MBC. Well, it's about as hot here as it is up there, except we have the wonderful gift of about 98% humidity and pure sunshine and no clouds. So that's been our weather for about the last week. Trivia answer, that's the main reason I jumped on. I'd been lurking for about 30 minutes, and then it was like, hey, that's a good question. I may know that one. So anyway, my answer is Charlie. And just enjoying listening tonight. Just had to get a good dose of Ohio and enjoying everything tonight. Thanks for squeezing me in here at the end. K3MBC, back to net.
Fine business, Mark. Fine business. I got you down for Charlie tonight. And good evening. Thanks for coming over. You're part of the group now, you know. We're going to clear with K3MBC and let's punch in with John Curley, W8TD, W8WKY. How you doing tonight, John? You going to answer the trivia question, and what are your thoughts on touring K3LR and DXE?
W8WKY in the net, Whiskey 8 Tango Delta. Oh, good evening. Good evening all. I have very little to contribute this evening. The answer to the trivia question is C, 200 meters, and I just want to comment that I really enjoy it. When we managed to come up with a ham radio related trivia question, I understand that you can't always do that, but it's nice when it happens, so thanks. I do not think I'm interested in any touring, although if you put it off until fall, maybe by then I'll have a little more mobility. But as of right now, I wouldn't plan on that. Shulman auction ends in 2 days. Still over 300 lots. Still lots of good stuff. Some of the prices are still way down, although there will be some last-minute activity. Worth a look. 73 all. Talk to everybody soon. WKY in the net, W8TD.
John, you answered that with a certain amount of surety. I got you down for Charlie tonight, man. And I'm thinking October sometime, or second week of October sounds like a really good time to make that trip. So that's what I'm thinking. John, thanks for being here. It was great seeing you last week at dinner. And we'll catch up with you later on. We're going to go to W8TD. Got one more on the list here. And KC8FQV, I saw you sneak in on the dashboard, so I'm adding you to the end of the list. But right now, we're talking to Zach. K8KCS with the new call sign. We'll have to work on that node, Zach, and get it working for you. What do you got? got for the group, man? Great seeing you on field day. What's your answer to trivia? And just go. Take it away.
W8WKY and the net. This is K8KCS. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, sorry about that node issue earlier. I left the HT inside for once. I was outside climbing the tower. Put up a new sidearm and a dedicated antenna for my APRS station, so getting into that project a little bit here. But let's see, I'm going to guess B, Bravo, for that trivia, and the K3LR tour and DX Engineering tour would be pretty awesome, so sign me up for that. And I'm on board for any time, so whatever works for you guys. But anyway, I just want to get in and say good evening, and we'll send it back to net. This is K8KCS.
K8KCS. Doesn't roll off the tongue yet, Zach. I just gotten used to the ELA thing. Got you down for Bravo tonight, man, and we'll get that note working for you. And no worries, man. Got to test it somewhere, and it's best to test things somewhere where someone will probably come back and answer you. That would be here. We're going to clear with K8KCS. This is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net. And I'm going to call on my tail gunner here, KC8FQV. It's a net now. How you doing, Mark? Did you hear the question? And what's your answer? What do you got for the group tonight? Go, Mark.
Yeah, KC8FQV. I just came in from mowing. I got to go still out and finish a little more, but I figure I got to come in. So I came in and I bought, the internet screwed up there, just like all internet. Everything always is screwed up with the technology. Technology, yeah. That's what they say, as you get higher speeds and everything, welcome to more screw-ups. And we know it, you know it too, Nick. More trouble. So I was going to look to see if you had a trivia. I know you do, probably. So I'll see what there is. Maybe you'll just tell me. KCF,
All right, Mark, I'm going to give you a quick reread. You're going to give me an answer, and then I'm going to tell everybody what the answer is tonight. So there. So here we go. Here's your question. When early government regulators sought to curb commercial and military interference in the early 20th century, they relegated amateurs to shortwave spectrum. They did this believing the frequencies were, quote, useless, unquote. What was the exact wavelength boundary amateurs were initially exiled to? Alpha, 50 meters down. Bravo, 100 meters and down. Charlie, 200 meters and down. Or Delta, 400 meters and down. What do you got, Mark?
I think it's going to be 50 meters and down, KCFQV.
All right, Mark, I got you for 50 meters and down. That's Alpha tonight. And we're going to go right into giving the answer, because I just reread the question, so let's do this thing. The relegating of amateur radio operators to the shortwave spectrum features several key historical highlights, and here they are. The interference catalyst is what drove it on. The early spark gap transmitters sprayed broad, messy electromagnetic noise across the entire spectrum, jamming nearby commercial and Navy communications. Hence the passage of the Radio Act of 1912, where experts wrongly assumed that the frequencies higher than 1.5 megahertz, that's shorter than 200 meters, so the answer is Charlie, could not travel beyond a few miles. So that was the assumption, and that brought about the breakthrough that confined these higher frequencies. The amateurs were forced to experiment with vacuum tube technology. They soon realized that short waves could bounce off the ionosphere, allowing global communications with a fraction of the power required for traditional long-wave setups. There you go. So tonight's answer was Charlie. Very few correct answers tonight. KE8UIB, John and his parents. John's parents got it, not John. And then John Curley came in, and man, he just said, yeah, that's the answer. And so did Mark from Texas. So those those are the Charlies tonight. There we go. That's what we got, folks. Let me drop this for a second. Here, our last call. Anybody who wants to get in on the Sarah Club net tonight, just wave and say hi. This is WKY. I'm listening. Last call.
KF8 DTA. Report.
Geez, KSFQ recheck, Nick.
All right, we picked up KF8 DTA. Jeff, real rough copy. I think you said you were in and out. Were you in and out?
I'll just have to give you more power. Yeah, I'll be in and out, but I'll be listening.
Crystal clear that time, man. Crystal clear. A little power goes a long way sometimes. All right, man. I got you checked in and out. That was my last call. So let me see what Mark has here for a recheck, and then I'm going to close it down. KC8FQV. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't read it to me, I would have just said, Charlie. I should have just said, don't worry about reading, and I would have just said Charlie, because they say when we were in school, if you don't know, take Charlie. But, you know, I'll send it back your way, KSFQV. You know, we had 42 check-ins on Sunday night, and Andy went to 1142. So I'll send it back your way, Nick, so you can get down to the watch net. KSFQV, because we're cutting into your time.
All right, Mark, thanks for giving a plug to the watch net. Millersburg repeater, KD8QGQ. That's where I'm headed now. If you have the means to get down there, stop in and say hi to Charlie, KB8PXM. He runs a good show. I'd like to thank everybody who participated in tonight's Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Club Net. I had a good time. Thanks for all your feedback on the tours, and thanks for all your participation. It's your participation that keeps the net alive. We had 38 check-ins tonight. Not too bad for Club Net. At this time, I'm going to return the repeater and the call sign to customary amateur use. This is WKY going QRT, and this is KD8SLG, and I'm clear. 73 all, and W2JR, so I'll be linking us up to the Colorado Astronomy Net just about now. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. KD8SLG clear.
Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. That's a new call on the list, so I like to touch base with my first-time check, find out a little bit more about your interest, background in astronomy. My name is Ernest, that's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, here, and the call sign, kilowatt 50 is 0, Alpha, Romeo. Been doing the net here for 30 years. Locally, and now that we're on SkyHub, it is now global. We have people from all checking in. So Ethan, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades, what your interest might be with astronomy. We've got astrophotographers here, we got observationalists, all different different interests within astronomy there. Please go ahead and share with us what your interest and background is. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Yeah, my name is Ethan. I'm out in Greeley, Colorado. I've lived here for, about 16 years. Initially got my ticket back in, it's got to be 2003, 2004, out in Utah, and was initially got it to help out with a mountain rescue crew out there, the Timpanogos Emergency Rescue Team. Ham radio operators handled their station, and did it for a while and then fell off. Just a quick break in the transmission. So I fell off and haven't really benefited much or been involved. I had a fairly outdated HT that was having some problems, and recently picked up a cheap little radio just to show my teenage son a little bit about how ham radio works, and happened to catch the net and thought I would chime in. Interests, like I said, I've done emergency work in the past. Currently a mental health professional, and trying to keep up with my kids is probably my biggest interest at the moment. I can't recall if there's anything else specifically you were asking about.
Oh, Ethan, yeah, I basically like to touch base with my new check-ins and find out what their interest in astronomy is. Like I said, they're starting out wondering what those specks of light are up in the skies, or that bright object is towards the west in the evening skies, which happens to be Venus, and then Jupiter fairly the first couple of objects that pop out in the evening sky, or just wondering what's going on, or you could teach me a thing or two. I've been doing the net for 30 years, and been an astronomer for a lot longer than that. So that's basically it. This is a learning net. So in fact, I learned something new. I learned something every net as well. So, and like I said, I've been doing it for a long time. And we got all levels of experience here, and hopefully you'll stick around. The way it's working, I'm obviously taking check-ins. I got some local astronomical news, basically where the planets are for July. Got interesting bulletins, and we have a rocket report. If you're interested in rocket launches around the world, Ed, W6BC will be presenting that. And then after the rocket report is a question and answer session. I like to touch base with all my check-ins, find out what they're looking at up in the skies, if they've got any questions or anything they'd like to share with you as well. We just added a new section or a new topic. John W2LS is going to probably give us a little Today in Astronomy history lesson, so stick around for that as well. And we'll run for probably another hour and a half, so hopefully you can stick around. And again, welcome to the net. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, I will get into, get into local astronomical news for July. I am still in the process of writing that letter, trying to get it out around the 1st. I will get started. I got started on it today, but I don't have it published quite yet. Start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We just had a full moon yesterday. Nice big bright moon in the sky tonight. We got a last quarter moon coming up on the 7th. We got a new moon on the 14th. First quarter moon on the 21st, and we got another full moon on the 29th. The moon will be at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth in July on the 13th. It will be 223,142 miles from Earth. The moon will be at the farthest point away from the Earth in July on the 25th. It will be 251,996 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for July. Venus and Jupiter remain visible in the evening sky soon after sunset in July, although Jupiter fairly quickly drops out of sight. In the morning sky, there's lots of planetary action. Saturn rises earlier now, placing in a dark sky for a couple of hours. There's a wonderful conjunction between Mars and Uranus on July 4th. If you've never seen Uranus before, this conjunction makes it easy. Finally, Mercury rounds the Sun and reappears in the morning sky in the last few days of the month. I excerpt this from Astronomy Magazine, July 2026, page 34. On with the planets. We got Mercury will be at inferior conjunction on the 12th. That means it is between us and the Sun on that particular day. Mercury will be stationary on the 23rd. That means it neither appears to move forward nor backward relative to the background skies. That's the thing. Mercury sets at 9:15 p.m. on the 1st. After conjunction, Mercury returns to the morning sky, rising about 4:31 a.m. by month's end. Mercury is visible in the western sky about 30 minutes after sunset during the first week and about 30 minutes before sunrise during the last week of the month. Mercury is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude 0.5 on the 31st. We got Venus. Venus is setting about 10:55 p.m. on the 1st, about 10:08 p.m. by month's end. Look for Venus in the west about 30 minutes after sunset. Venus moves from the constellation of Leo into Virgo, shining at magnitude minus 4.2. Venus is actually the first bright object that you will see in the nighttime sky right now. It's the brightest object. So look towards the west, and you should be able to spot Venus. If you have binoculars or a small telescope, definitely point it towards Venus, and you will actually see it in phase. We never see Mercury nor Venus in a full phase. They're always in a crescent phase when it is on either side of the sun. They never get high enough or further away from the sun to be in a full phase. For Earth, Earth will be at aphelion, its farthest point away from the sun. On the 6th, it will be 94.5 million miles from the sun.
W8WKY.
All right. I forgot to do my quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the magnitudes go up, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see under optimal conditions is, that means dark skies well away from the city, without all that smoke in the air as well, about 6 magnitudes. Any magnitudes less than 6 are visible with the naked eye. So a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer, and you will definitely require binoculars or a telescope to see anything greater than 6. However, definitely take a look at those brighter objects with binoculars or a telescope for sure, and you'll pull out all kinds of detail with those objects, banding on Jupiter, Jupiter's moons, pointing the binoculars and scanning the Milky Way. Will pull out all kinds of interesting objects for sure. Mars is rising about 3:07 a.m. on the 1st, about 2:24 a.m. by month end. Look for Mars to the southeast in the morning. About 30 minutes before sunrise, Mars will be in conjunction with Uranus at about 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 4th. It will be about 1/10 of 1 degree away from it. Let's see, the full moon subtends an angle of about 1/2 of a degree. So this is very, very close. And if you've never seen Uranus through a telescope, this would be the time to get out and see that. So that will actually be at about 11 a.m. on the 3rd for those of us here in the Denver area, or earlier for those that are on the coast. So definitely avail yourself. Stay up late on the 3rd. Celebrate the 4th just a little bit early.
Vernon, sorry about that. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Hey, Jack, I was going to wait and see if it cleared up. I have no idea what's going on either. Who's playing around on the radio or something? Definitely something's going on. Somebody's got something on, and they're definitely not identifying themselves either, so I don't know what's going on either. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Apologies, we're going to see what's going on. Yeah, I'll let this thing go, and we'll see what happens. Okay. If it were May the 5th or May 4th, I would say R2D2 is checking in tonight. Maybe that was it. Otherwise, for those of you who are out there listening, please hold off until I call for check-ins. I'll take check-ins after I get through the astronomical news this section of the program. I will call. This is a directed net, so I will call for check-ins a little bit later, but please hold them. I will take I will take check-in via Twitter or YouTube. If I happen to see your call pop up on either one of those spots, I will see that and post that, and I'll acknowledge when I get a break. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, I did Mars. Mars will be in conjunction with Uranus on it would be the late hours of the 3rd, Friday night, for those of us in the Denver area. At about 11 p.m. It will be at their closest, so definitely get those see if you never spot Uranus. You'll see a little greenish blue, bluish green dot, more green than blue, right next to Mars. On Mars, we'll be shining at a magnitude of 1.3. We got Jupiter will be in conjunction with the Sun. Jupiter sets at 9:45 p.m. on the 1st. After Jupiter returns to the morning sky, rising about 5:49 a.m. by month's end. By the time the sun sets, Jupiter is low in the western sky, rapidly approaching the horizon during the first couple of weeks of the month. That's the best to be able to see that. Once it gets any lower, it's going to be lost in the evening twilight glow. Jupiter is in the constellation of Cancer, shining at magnitude -1.8. Then we got Saturn rising about 1:04 a.m. on the 1st, about 11 p.m. by month's end. We'll look for Saturn towards the south in the morning sky before sunrise. Saturn is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 0.7. Yeah, even though Saturn is rising around midnight, mid-month, you'll definitely want to wait until it rises and get up very, very early before dawn when Saturn is highest in the southern sky. You see a lot more detail, especially under dark sky conditions. We got Uranus rising at 3:13 a.m. on the 1st, about 1:16 a.m. by month's end. Look for Uranus to the southeast in the morning sky before sunrise. Uranus is the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.8. You'll notice that Uranus is 4.5 times magnitudes dimmer than Mars. Still visible with the naked eye under optimal conditions, but it will be a challenge nonetheless. So get up binoculars or telescopes and see if you can spot that little dot. It won't look like a star. It should be a discernible disk. All planets are going to look like a discernible disk through an eyepiece, as opposed to a little pinpoint like stars do. So stay up late Friday night. Or get up very, very early towards the East Coast for sure. We got Neptune rising at 12:36 a.m. on the 1st, about 10:30 p.m. by month's end. Towards the south in the morning sky before sunrise. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. And you'll notice that Neptune is about 30 minutes ahead of Saturn. So another challenge, especially at magnitude 7. Neptune is kind of a bluish, dark bluish planet with a little bit of green in it. So that's a greenish blue, while Uranus is a bluish green. You'll definitely see those colors. For our dwarf planets, we've got Ceres rising about 4:59 a.m. on the 1st, about 2:41 a.m. by month's end. Sirius can be spotted low to the southeast in the morning skies before sunrise. The constellation of Taurus shining at magnitude 9.0. We got Pluto rising about 10:10 p.m. on the 1st, about 8:08, 8:06 p.m. Pluto can be spotted to the south before sunrise. The constellation of Capricorn at magnitude 15.0. Yeah, well after midnight, you could attempt to spot Pluto. You'll definitely need larger telescopes, 12-inch, 15-inch diameter mirrors to spot Pluto, and lots of patience. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Sirius, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. We got a couple of meteor showers. We got the southern Delta Aquarids. This meteor shower has a duration of August 14th through August 18th. Maximum hourly rates of 15 to 20 occur on July 28th to 29th. We also have the northern Delta Aquarids, extends from July 16th through September 10th. Maximum occurs on August 15th. Hourly rates reach a high of 10. So, the first part of this month, not too much meteor activity, but if you happen to be out under dark skies, definitely avail yourself and see if you might catch a meteor or two speaking to the skies later in the month. We do have a comet 10 Temple, or 2, is shining around 7th magnitude, passing through the constellations of Aquarius and Capricorn this month. Still got a little bit more work to do on the newsletter, but that's pretty much it for the local astronomical news for the upcoming week. So this is AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and pause here for more check-ins. We got Patrick, K9OC. Thanks for checking in tonight, Patrick. And we got Eric, W2HAZ, checking in via YouTube. So thanks for that, Eric. We got you on the list for tonight. Anyone else? Into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Lima Oscar. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Lima Oscar. Ron in person.
All right, thank you, Ron. Thanks for checking in tonight. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let me find my bulletin. Where did they go? Oh, there we go. Oh, where did they go? Just give me a second here. I seem to have lost my pages. Let me come up here. Got too many windows open. Here we go. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy. Start off with ISS passes. The ISS passes, you like to use this page for that. It's www.heavens-above.com. www.heavens-above.com. Sign up for it. I've got that posted over on YouTube. You sign up, put in your home coordinates, and you can get much more accurate timing and for the ISS passes. This is just one of the features of this particular site. And the one reason I like about this site is it will give me ISS passes, visible ISS passes for the next 10 days. It will give me all of the ISS passes on here. But right now, I'm seeing it to go over. For the Denver area, it's kind of transitioning from early morning to late evening passes. So all very, very low towards the north. I'm looking in the next 10 days for a decent pass, and I'm not seeing one until like July 7th. So I'm going to post that over on YouTube and show you what happened. Get a nice star chart that you can print out and take outside with you, as opposed to looking at a small iPhone screen or an iPad screen or something like that. An iPad would be better, but if you drop it, this won't break. And you can pick it up, you can write on it, you can do whatever. It shows it, and it'll give you a nice path through the night sky. If you know how to use star charts, nice path of the ISS across the skies. This one on a particular evening of the 7th at 9:47 to about 9:57, 10 minutes from horizon to horizon, passing by the constellation of Virgo through the Coma Berenices, through Draco, Cepheus, and then setting towards the northeast. So, again, that website, www.heavens-above.com. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR, that from Colorado, astronomy net. And I do like you guys helping me out. Ed helped me out by telling me that today is Asteroid Day. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. And this is from the ESA, European Space Agency. Dated today, Asteroid Day, and 8 other key dates in asteroid history. Happy Asteroid Day. Today is the annual, unrecognized global event to promote public education on asteroids and planetary defense. But why today of all days? Read on and find out the other key dates in our current golden age of asteroids. Once considered by 19th century astronomers as vermin of the sky for their tendency to creep across long exposures, asteroids are leftover objects from the creation of the solar system. The vast majority of them are located within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, but also found elsewhere, including near-Earth asteroids with the potential to strike Earth. June 30th, 1908, Siberian airburst. Asteroid Day marks the largest asteroid detonation witnessed by modern humans, which took place on this morning up to 10 kilometers above the vicinity of the Chernaya Tunguska River in a fortunately sparsely populated province of Siberia. An incoming object exploded, resulting in a 3 to 5 megaton airburst. The Tunguska event toppled around 60 million trees across 2,200 square kilometers of territory, with a dead but upright telegraph forest of tree trunks remaining at the airburst center. It struck only a short rotation of Earth away from Europe. The results would have been disastrous over a populated area. As it was, Europe was indirectly touched by Tunguska, with atmospheric pressure waves and seismic tremors recorded and strange illumination in the night sky. Despite the titanic nature of the Tunguska explosion, it took more than a decade for the site to be investigated, although the damage done by the event remained unmistakable. 21 October 1991, first asteroid encounter. It was well into the space age before the first asteroid was visited by a spacecraft. NASA's Galileo mission passed 1,600 kilometers away from the Gaspra asteroid on its way to Jupiter. Beforehand, astronomers observing through telescopes thought asteroids might simply be unchanging chunks of rock. The 12-kilometer diameter Gaspra shows that they are, in fact, complex geological worlds in their own right, with very irregular shapes and abundant geological features. The stony asteroid's irregular shape, sharp edges, and plentiful grooves, probably evidence of fractures, suggested it was the product of one or more collisions. It also had a striking abundance of small craters, much greater than on other bodies, and also showed evidence of landslides, despite Gaspar's extremely low gravity. In short, asteroids turned out to be much more dynamic places than anyone had previously imagined. Galileo went on to visit a second asteroid, Ida, in 1993, where it made the discovery the asteroid had its own moon orbiting it, Dactyl. Today we know about 15% of the 1.4 million asteroids discovered to date are binary in nature, possessing one or some two or even three moons. Well, for 2000 landing on an asteroid. Many asteroids have made it to Earth based on geological record, but this date was the first time a piece of Earth settled down on an asteroid. NASA's Near-Earth Asteroid Rendezvous Shoemaker's craft spent more than a year surveying the peanut-shaped 433 Eros, a near-Earth asteroid whose orbit brings it close to our planet. Its survey revealed a surprisingly rich surface featuring craters, dozens, and house-sized boulders. Then came the end of the mission on 12 February. Controllers performed the first spacecraft touchdown on an asteroid. The spacecraft transmitted 69 close-up images during its final descent and continued to operate for another 6 days landing. 5 September 2008, Rosetta's asteroid flyby. Europe's first close encounter with an asteroid took place as ESA's Rosetta spacecraft passed the Steins asteroid on the way to Comet 67P, Churyumov-Gerasimenko. This Gibraltar-sized diamond-shaped body turned out to be scarred by dozens of impact craters, including one gaping hole at its south pole, a large impact crater about 2 kilometers wide and nearly 300 meters deep. A second close encounter took place in 2010 as Rosetta passed the mammoth 100-kilometer diameter Lutetia, some 250 times bigger than Rosetta's target. This is also heavily cratered. It fast became clear that collisions are fundamental to the nature and history of asteroids and, by extension, the entire solar system. This is KI0AR, Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net continuing. 13 June 2010, asteroid sample return. Launched in 2003, Japan's Hayabusa mission had the ambitious goal of returning material to Earth from potato-shaped 330-meter diameter asteroid Itokawa, named for the Japanese for Falcon. Hayabusa was a near-crippled spacecraft by the time it reached its destination. Blasted by a solar flare, controllers were reduced to relying on one reaction wheel and 2 chemical thrusters to maintain attitude control as the spacecraft made repeated touchdowns onto the asteroid's surface to gather material. Hayabusa was bedeviled by leaked thrusters, communications blackouts, and a small lander that failed to land, instead drifting off into space, demonstrating the challenge of operating in asteroid gravity. Even so, Hayabusa detached its re-entry capsule at a distance of about 300,000 to 400,000 kilometers from Earth, allowing the capsule to coast on a ballistic trajectory until it re-entered Earth's atmosphere. The capsule experienced peak deceleration of about 25 G and heating approximately 30 times those experienced by the Apollo spacecraft. It landed via parachute near Woomera, Australia on 13 June 2010. When it turned out to be an extremely small amount of asteroid material, within it turned out to be an extremely small amount of asteroid material, only about 1,500 microscopic dust grains, but scientifically priceless. Several grains were lent to ESA for analysis. On a parallel trajectory, Hayabusa burned up in the atmosphere, but successor spacecraft Hayabusa 2 succeeded in returning 5.4 grams of material from the primitive carbonaceous asteroid Ryugu in 2020. While NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission also brought back material from asteroid Bennu. Both missions remain operational. Hayabusa is about to perform a flyby of asteroid Pune next week, while OSIRIS-REx, renamed OSIRIS-APEX, is due to rendezvous with Apophis asteroid in 2029.
W8WKY.
15 February 2013, invisible impactor. No one saw the Chelyabinsk meteor coming, but after sunrise on a sunny winter's day, a 20-meter asteroid struck the atmosphere over the Ural Mountains in Russia at a speed of more than 18 kilometers per second. The relatively small rock approached Earth from very near the direction of the sun, exploding in the atmosphere and creating a shockwave that damaged thousands of buildings, breaking windows and scaring 1,500 people from flying shards of glass. It was the largest asteroid to strike Earth since Tunguska. Working with NASA's Sentry system and astronomers around the globe, ESA's Near-Earth Coordination Center monitors and evaluates the threat posed by bodies that come near Earth. But asteroids like the Chelyabinsk impactor coming out of the sun are largely invisible to current survey methods. A new ESA mission proposal called NEOMIR seeks to plug this blind spot through the use of infrared vision to pick out bodies 20 meters and larger that cannot otherwise be seen. 26 September 2022, impacting an asteroid. If an asteroid was found heading to Earth, what could be done to stop it? NASA's Double Asteroid Redirect Test, or DART, formed the first part of an ambitious international experiment to find out. The vending machine-sized spacecraft impacted the 151-meter Dimorphos asteroid at a speed of 6.1 kilometers per second. The aim was to change its orbit around parent asteroid Didymos, which it rotates around like the moon around Earth, to test the kinetic impact method of planetary descent. The test succeeded. The 11-hour, 55-minute orbit of Dimorphos around Didymos was shortened by about 33 minutes, making it the first object in our solar system to have its orbit changed by human action. November 2026, here comes Hera. DART's impact was observed across Earth as the dust and debris it liberated caused Dimorphos to brighten more than tenfold, but many unknown, including the precise structure and mass of Dimorphos and how the impact changed the small body. It has been left with a massive crater, or reshaped entirely by the force of the collision. Hasn't been left with a massive crater or reshaped entirely by a force of collision. Launched in October 2024, ESA's Hera mission is designed to find out, equipped with an asteroid deck of instruments plus two shoebox-sized CubeSats to fly closer to the asteroid's surface than their van-sized mothership. The data returned by Hera, starting with the first image of the transformed Dimorphos unveiled on 25 November, should let researchers turn the kinetic impact method into a well-understood and customable method of planetary defense, should we ever need it for real. 13 April 2029, day, a future red-letter day for asteroids. When the cruise line Apophis asteroid will pass less than 32,000 kilometers from Earth's surface, visible to the naked eye for more than 2 billion people across parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. Coming 10 times closer to Earth than the Moon and many satellites, scientists believe that while there is zero risk of any impact now or in the conceivable future, our planet's gravity could have dramatic effects on Apophis. The Rapid Apophis Mission for Space Safety, or RAMSES, under construction by ESA and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, aims to rendezvous with Apophis and accompany the asteroid during its flyby to observe how it is warped and changed by our planet's gravity. A free experiment offering insights into the internal structure of asteroids in support of planetary defense. and these will be completed in spring next year, then undergo testing at ESA's ESTEC Technical Center in the Netherlands before launch by Japanese H3 rocket in spring 2028, along with JAXA's Destiny Plus mission, which will also perform a preliminary flyby of Apopus. 2029, International Year of Asteroid Awareness and Planetary Defense. In recognition of the potential of this flyby for public education, the United Nations has designated 2029 as the International Year of Asteroid Awareness and Planetary Defense. And find out more about Asteroid 2029 here, and that's at the European Space Agency. And that's it for the bulletin for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and call on Ed, W6RDZ, for tonight's rocket report. Good evening to you, Ed. Are you ready to give the rocket report? Go ahead.
Good evening, Burners. I'm ready to go with the tonight's rocket report. Just give me a signal check, make sure I'm not wasting everybody's time.
All right, Ed. Hopefully I wasn't doing the same. I do see a comment over on NetLogger saying my transmission has been breaking up. Kind of hard to understand. At least if you want to go back and listen to that bulletin, you can check out the YouTube recording. So there you go. It should get solid copy over there. You were solid copy into the repeater there. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ed.
Thank you, Burners. I did not hear you breaking up on analog, so maybe it's a digital thing, but that's just one receiver here. Good evening to the net. Good evening, everyone. This is W6RDZ, your rocket man, with tonight's rocket report. We look back a week and we look forward a week. Let's go start by looking back. We only had 4 launches this week. A bunch of the ones that were scheduled for the end of the month got pushed forward into July. So on Wednesday, June 24th, oh, that's my birthday, 21:30 Mountain Daylight Time, reliably launched Starlink Group 17-45 on a Falcon 9 rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. 24 Starlink V2 internet went to Sun synchronous orbit. This was booster 1081's 25th flight and recovery. It was SpaceX's 653rd successful Falcon 9 mission and the 74th Falcon 9 mission of 2026. The launch was the 151st world-over orbital launch attempt of 2026. Moving to the second launch, Friday, June 26th, at 11:43 Mountain Daylight Time. Rocket Lab launched the 10 Owl of 10 mission on an Electron Curie rocket from the Mahia Peninsula, New Zealand. The mission successfully launched the 10th Strix 8 satellite, a synthetic aperture radar Earth observation satellite, to low Earth orbit. Company's Inspective. We'll reset the repeater. W6RDZ back with the rocket report, finishing the report on the second launch, which was the Rocket Lab's Inspective launch, 10 Owl of 10 mission. It was the 91st Electron mission and the 11th of 2026. Sunday, June 28th, SpaceX launched Starlink Group 17-40 on a Falcon 9, lifting off from Vandenberg Space Force Base at 10:09 Mountain Daylight Time. 24 Starlink V2 Minis joined the Mega Constellation in sun-synchronous orbit. It was the 75th Falcon 9 mission of 2026. Last launch, Mosley, Sunday, June 28th at 2025 Mountain Daylight Time. SpaceX successfully launched the XSM-11 mission from Slick 40 Cape Canaveral. This was the 12th high-powered digital radio satellite for Sirius XM, and it's headed to geostationary orbit. All right, approximately 9 launches coming up on the docket, 5 of them in the next 24 hours. Okay, here, I'm going to reset the repeater there. W6 RDZ, back with the Colorado Astronomy Net's rocket report. Next week, we've got first launch, June 30th, at, that's today, at 1900. The lab was scheduled to launch the Grain Goddess Provides mission on Electron Curie rocket from the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. However, I just watched the countdown of that, and that was a scrub. Counted it all the way down on a beautiful day there in New Zealand, and the engine started, and they scrubbed it after engine start, so that's always make you hold your breath. No word yet on when they'll try again. This was another launch for Japan's IQPS. The IQPS SAR mission is the 13th of the Plan 36 and 36 synthetic aperture radar Earth observation satellites going to constellation in low Earth orbit. It will be was supposed to be the 155th orbital launch of 2026 and the 13th of 2026 for Rocket Lab. So we'll see when they reschedule that. Second launch. This is the big launch of the week. I was hoping to wake up this morning to a news of a successful launch of the Swift Boost mission, but alas, the big launch was postponed until tomorrow morning. So tomorrow, Wednesday, July 1st at 03:43 Mountain Daylight Time, Northrop Grumman will attempt to launch the Swift Boost mission. There, reset our repeaters. W6 RDZ back with the rocket report. We were talking about the Swift Boost mission, that coming up tomorrow morning. The last of the kind Pegasus XL rocket, and that's launched from beneath the wing of a last of its kind 1974 Lockheed 1011 Stargazer. That's launching from Ronald Reagan Ballistic Missile Defense Test Site in the Marshall Islands in the Pacific. It will be the 46th mission for the venerable Pegasus rocket and the last ever. This is just the coolest mission. It's a real Hail Mary by NASA. On a shoestring budget and an impossibly short project timeline, Catalyst Space Technologies built a robotic servicing spacecraft named Link that will rendezvous with NASA's doomed Swift Observatory, dock, and boost it to a higher orbit, extending the Swift mission's science life. The Swift Observatory is falling out of orbit, but NASA and Catalyst Space have a plan for 22 years. The Swift Observatory has been successfully hunting and bagging X-ray and gamma-ray bursts, GRB. It launched with a nominal on-orbit lifetime of 2 years. The Swift Observatory's 3 instruments, the BAT, which detects and quickly points the telescope to a GRB, the X-ray telescope, and the ultraviolet optical telescope are still working just fine. repeater there. W6RDZ back with the Rucker report talking about the Swift boost mission. The Swift telescope has never had a propulsion system, so it's doomed to a fiery death by the end of this year as its orbit continues to delay from trace atmospheric drag at an ever-increasing rate. This endeavor is something never attempted in space. The Swift boost mission calls for an untested robotic spacecraft named Link to rendezvous with the Swift Observatory in low Earth orbit and grab a hold of the fragile telescope without damaging it. The Swift telescope was never designed to be serviced, never designed to dock with anything, nor be reboosted. After Link grabs the spacecraft, it will energize its solar-powered ion thrusters. The objective is to boost the telescope back to a higher, safer orbit before the observatory falls to Earth. All this for just $30 million. And NASA handed the startup Catalyst the contract less than a year ago in September of 2025. The Swift Observatory launched in November 20th, 2004 on the Delta II rocket on a $250 million mission to search for the sky for gamma ray bursts and other high-energy astrophysics phenomena. That would cost $450 million in today's dollars to replace it. What a bargain to save the observatory for just $25 million. Hopefully the high-risk game. The repeater there. W6RDZ back with the Rocky Rourke report talking about the Swift boost mission. Once in orbit, Link will deploy its solar panels and undergo several weeks of commissioning as Catalyst evaluates the spacecraft's propulsion, navigation, and sensor systems. Link will then slowly approach and survey Swift before grabbing the observatory with its robotic arms and then slowly raising the orbit by nearly 370 miles. When Swift launched in 2004, it went into a 580-kilometer orbit. Swift has slowly decayed due to the very tenuous atmospheric drag in low Earth orbit down to 360 kilometers. NASA is shooting to boost to a fresh altitude of 740 kilometers this time. That should give the Swift several decades of renewed orbital life. I'll keep you posted as this mission progresses. Go Link, go NASA, go Catalyst, go Swift, and go Pegasus, go Northrop. And we've got some links there for you to learn more about it in our online report. That brings us to the third launch, also tomorrow, Wednesday, July 1st, 2026 at 17:45 Mountain Standard Time. China Aerospace and Science Corporation, CASIX, plans to launch a Long March 4C rocket from Site 94 at the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in China, and it'll be topped with an undisclosed payload. I'm going to go ahead and reset the repeater there. W6RDZ, back with the rocket report. Fifth launch, let's see. Again tomorrow at 2000 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX is scheduled to launch Starlink Group 1745 from Slick 4E, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Again tomorrow, but at 22:24 Mountain Daylight Time, United Launch Alliance plans to launch the last Atlas V attached to Amazon for the Amazon Leo LA-08 mission from Slick 41, Cape Canaveral, Florida. launch Thursday, July 2nd. Assoc plans to launch a Long March 8A rocket from commercial pad LC-1 at the Wenchang Space Launch Site. 7th launch, Friday, June 3rd. SpaceX is on the docket to launch Starlink. Group 10-50 from Slick 40, Cape Canaveral. And Saturday, July 4th, China Assoc hopes to launch a Long March 6A rocket with an undisclosed payload from LC-9A at the Taiwan Satellite Launch Center in China. And lastly, Tuesday, July 7th, SpaceX is scheduled to launch the Transporter 17 mission on a Falcon 9 from Slick 4E Vandenberg Space Force Base. Transporter missions are dedicated rideshare missions that provide small sat operators the ability to launch up to 50 kilograms to sun-synchronous orbit for only $350. Analysts think SpaceX will abandon this business over the next few years. Reset our repeater there. W6RDZ back with a rocket report. Two items I felt were worth mentioning in the news this week. Of course, Starship Flight 13. SpaceX is working hard to launch another Starship here pretty soon. Flight 13, consisting of Ship 40 for the upper stage and the Super Heavy Booster 20, is expected to launch in the July to August time frame, with an end of July launch possible. July 24th has been floated by some tank watchers, but of course nothing official yet from SpaceX, of course. On Friday, Ship 40 performed a successful 15-second single-engine static fire on the Massey test stand. That's good progress. What was viewed as a brief lighter test on the day before may have been an aborted six-engine static fire. No one's quite sure. Work continues preparing Pad 2 for its second launch. SpaceX is interleaving the testing of Ship 13 with Ship 14. The next two launches are prepping at the same time. All right, kind of doing a little shifty there. Okay, that brings us to the second news item. Boeing Starliner won't fly for at least another year. This is from MSM's Victor Tagerman. He reports it's been just over 2 years since the spacecraft launched the International Space Station, with NASA astronauts Butch Whitmore and Sonny Williams on board, and mating crew major technical setbacks. We'll reset the repeater there. Whiskey 6, Romeo Delta Zulu, back with the Tonight Rocket Report for the Colorado Astronomy Net, talking about Boeing Starliner. But thanks to persistent issues with thrusters and major helium leaks, the capsule stranded the duo in space for 9 months and eventually returned without anybody on board. Since then, Boeing has continued to struggle to get its act together for over a decade and a half after it struck up its commercial crew program contract with NASA. As Spaceflight Now reports, the long-awaited follow-up to the calamitous flight, which won't even have crew on, still doesn't have an official launch date and could be as far as a year away. The clock is ticking. The ISS will be retired in a matter of 4 years, which could make the spacecraft obsolete, and spending well over $2 billion on it after failing to ever successfully send astronauts to space and back on the type of round trip it was designed for. The news comes roughly 4 months after NASA released the Program Investigation Team report classifying Wilmore and Williams' harrowing journey as a Type A mishap, classification that indicates quote, property damage equal to or greater than $2 million or more, end quote. The full article you can read there. Several of them in my report. Links are provided. All right, that's it for tonight's Colorado Astronomy Rocket Report. This is W6RDZ Rocketman Ed wishing you a happy day, rather. A good night and nominal flight. Now, back to Starman Burness, KI0AR, net control.
Okay, thank you for that, Ed. This is KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, I think I acknowledge you, Ron, KF0VLO. We got Wesley, KF4, WLQ. Thanks for checking in tonight. Got a few people duck out. We got it. All right, but that's all right. I'll go ahead and open up the net for a couple more check-ins before we go down the list. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
This is Foxtrot, Sierra, Quebec. Kilo Foxtrot 8, Foxtrot 0, Quebec.
All right. Good evening, Q Fred. KF8FSQ. Thanks for checking in tonight. All right. Now's the time for everyone else to contribute. Oh, yes. Before I get started, we're going to jump over to John W2JLS. John, with our astronomical history for today, W2JLS, John, would you like to share a historical tidbit for today? Go ahead.
Very good, Burness. This is W2JLS, John transmitting from Farallon, Ohio. Hello to Mission Control, Mr. Burness, KI0AR, and Rocketman Ed, W6RDZ, and all the listeners out there on the Colorado Astronomy Net. And a very happy asteroid day on your ears. Burness, you may not find this too surprising. I was actually thinking of doing a history tidbit on Tunguska tonight. So a lot of what you covered in your front, was stuff I intended to talk about. So I will still go there, but it'll be with a little bit of a different twist. So tonight in astronomy and space history, I was planning on taking us back to exactly 118 years ago, to the morning of June 30th, 1908, and one of the most famous and still strangely haunting events in recorded sky history.
W8WKY.
As Burness has already covered a lot of the primary story of the Tunguska event, a lot of additional asteroid-related matters on today, Asteroid Day. I'll kind of shift gear and focus on Leonard Kulik. Leonard Kulik was the scientist, the man who chased Tunguska. Often the history of astronomy and science, it's involved, particularly with astronomy, in things that we see when we're looking up. Tunguska is more of a story of what happens sometimes when things in the sky come raining down. So since looking at not the explosion itself, but the detective story that came after it, it's kind of neat. Where it landed. It's in Tunguska. It's
it's very remote, and for nearly 20 years there was really no major scientific expedition to reach the blast zone. So you had this guy Kulik that kind of at some point steps in. So Leonard Kulik was a Russian mineralogist and meteorite hunter. He became convinced that something from space had fallen over Siberia. You got to remember, at the time, you didn't have the media to the extent that we do today. So here, this guy is up there in Siberia wanting to kind of get to the bottom of this. 1921, at the age of 24, he tried to reach the site, but the region was so inaccessible that he failed initially. He just couldn't get over it, though. He didn't let it go. He made another attempt in 1927, nearly 19 years after the original event, and he reached the blast zone. He was, of course, looking for a crater or something from space that landed. Expected to find meteorite fragments and imagined a big chunk of iron, hanging out in the ground. Some bits of cosmic body perhaps fallen there in Siberia. Instead, he found, something stranger, maybe not quite what he was expecting. And some of you have probably seen this on documentaries, but he found a forest arranged, knocked down across the Taiga, flattened outward, pointing away from the blast. It seems like I read someplace during my research this week, like telegraph poles strewn from a central point where the blast occurred. So here they were, just dead, stripped, burned, stripped of their bark and burned, laying flattened like telegraph poles, he said. Kind of a haunting image, not a crater, not a meteorite, but a forest kind of laying there, all those years later. In a way, Kulik, he was wrong, maybe in exactly the way science sometimes needs to be wrong. He kept looking for the thing on, that hit the ground, but everything kept pointing back to something different, and that something different eventually, we learned through time and going back there over the years, maybe not so much that a large metallic body struck the ground, but you had an airburst explosion in the sky. That pattern of, the telegraph pole-like tree pattern, if you've seen the documentary, they describe it as kind of like in a butterfly shape, and they've gone back and kind of simulated that with matchsticks, and they were able to reproduce almost precisely what you see on the ground there in Siberia. Anyway, Kulik's own life story, and I'll just kind of round this out. Don't want to spend too much time. We've been in there a while already today. Kulik's own story did have a rather sad human ending. He had made several trips back to Siberia and studied the site, still hoping to find meteorites, and it was a hobby of his throughout his life. But at some point, he went back. He returned to the front during World War II. He returned to serve and was captured. He became ill and died in captivity in 1942 at the age of 58. So, relatively young man, but with kind of an unusual and kind of neat life in the history of science. So I thought I'd take a moment to reflect on him and his contributions. Let's round this off here. Just say in closing, sometimes it's not maybe what you're looking for in science and exploration, that you don't always find precisely what you think you're looking for, but sometimes you get the shadow, the scar, or an echo, or a pattern that you weren't expecting that helps you maybe elucidate better the truth, right? Anyway, that's my bit tonight for astronomy and space history. Good evening on your ears. Thank you for having me. For the Colorado Astronomy Net, this is W2JLS passing it back to KI0AR in Mission Control.
All right, John, thanks for that. I appreciate you expounding upon more Asteroid Day with the Tunguska. It's the event for sure, so I do appreciate that. Now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net. First on the list tonight is Jack, KE0VH. Good evening to you, Jack. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, be sure to tune into Jack's Captain Jack Flight Sim flight tomorrow night. He's practicing for it right now. So tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. Next on the list, let's see. Doug had to check in and out, so we'll go down to Ed. W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. Again, thanks for the rocket report. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Just give me a quick call back here.
This is W6RD. Do you want me to go ahead, Furnace, or do you want to take that other call?
Let Jack jump in. David, you're almost up next. Oh, he just popped off one. Go ahead, Jack. This is KE0VH. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Sorry, Bernice, I was away from the radio for a minute. And Ed, thanks for letting me jump in there. Bernice, just give me a quick phone call at the end of the net. Got some information I need to pass along to you. Anyway, I don't really have anything else. Thanks for the Captain Jack Flight Sim plug earlier. And we'll be flying tomorrow night from Lisbon to Madeira, Portugal. We're going to fly over the ocean and land on a very tricky runway at Madeira, so that'll be fun. Anyway, thanks, Bernice. Back to you, and Ed, thank you again. K0VH.
All right, Jack, I'll give you a call after the net. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight, and looking forward to flying with you tomorrow. W6RDZ, go ahead, Ed. What have you got for us tonight?
W8WKY.
All right, this is W6RD. Getting back with you. Not much. I do have observationally. I did get out there and look at that strawberry moon last night. I was thinking it's more yellow than strawberry with all of our smoke, but that's a local phenomena. Let's see. Anything else? I was looking at the planets last night, straight up by the moon. I'm not sure exactly what I saw. I'm going to have to study on that. I'm sure Mars was one of them. And then I have one that looked like Jupiter, but it couldn't be because that's way over by the sun right now. So maybe it was Saturn. I don't know. That's all I've got observationally. Love the Tunguska stuff. Love Jim's article on the early work on that. Very, very fascinating. W6RDZ, back to net control.
All right, Ed, yeah, I can take a look at that, but I don't think it was Mars or Saturn. Mars doesn't rise until 3 a.m., Saturn 1 a.m., so Uranus too dim, Neptune even dimmer, so I'm not exactly sure what time, but full moon's going to rise right around sunset, so I'd have to look at the sky to see what that was, but it wasn't a planet. Let's see. David checked in and checked out. WE8M. So we'll go down to Dave up in Evergreen. AF0AS. Good evening to you, Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Berners. I actually don't have much for the net tonight. It covered pretty much everything and everything in the rocket report. I think with that, I'm just going to send it back to the net.
All right, Dave. No worries. I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see. Boyd did the same thing. He checked in and had to disappear for the evening as well. N5CIQ down in Texas. So we'll go to Randall up in Washington. AE7RJ. Good evening to you, Randall. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything for the net tonight. I'm just listening from across the room. My hands full. Enjoy the rest of your net. I'm enjoying listening. AE7RJ.
All right, Randall, appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Paul in Utah, WA7GBL. Good evening to you, Paul. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening to everybody. It's 73 degrees here, and the smoke has really moved off. I'm not sure which direction the wind is driving it. My daughter lives in Colorado Springs, about 10 hours away from Cedar City, Utah, and she's really fighting with the smoke there. None of the fires have gained much ground control-wise, but luckily it's not smoky here, so that means I get to go out and look at the stars tonight. I have finally, I'm going to reset. I have finally found my replacement telescope. I just have to find one for the right price. It's a Edge HD with an equatorial mount, and it'll either be a 925 or an 11. And I'm looking forward to finally finding one for the right price. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good night. WA7GBL, Cedar City.
All right, Paul, yeah, I think a lot of the smoke has moved this way, plus we've got a lot of fires over on the western slope as well here in Colorado, so we're getting double dose. Yeah. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight, Paul. Next on the list is John in Ohio. W2. Good evening. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
I0AR W2JLS. Hey, Bernus. I'll mention Field Day happened this last weekend. I know it sounded like you had maybe something that went on. I think you were alluding to last week's net. I think you said you may have had the station up. My local club, the Sarah Club here in Northeast Ohio, I participated in our Field Day event, and like a lot of years, for me it was less radio operating and more, getting to meet with, local radio folks that I've known for a few years and a chance to catch up in the human ways. But I was just going to say, our club did our field day activities this year outside, and previous years it's been largely inside. Obviously, antenna and such are built outside, but we actually moved the whole thing to a new location this year. It was at a church in a nice field outdoors. And I'll say about that, it's really nice to experience radio in that way. We had a group set up to look at satellite work, and that was very interesting. They had a nice little tented area set up to do that. But by nighttime they did reach the ISS. They made a couple of contacts there to the International Space Station. That was kind of a coup, very nice, and it was really nice just being out there under the night sky. The moon was up, and you could see stars and planets. It was just, it reminded me I should spend more time outdoors and taking all of that in. And playing radio with friends, it's always a good time too. Sort of like we're doing tonight in a different way. With that, I'll pass it back. Thanks for having me, Bernice. Enjoyed listening to you and Ed, and we'll continue listening to the callers. W2JLS, back to you, sir.
Checking in tonight as well. Next on the list is John in Washington over on YouTube, KJ7AGQ. John over on YouTube, if you got anything for us tonight, you can post that over in the YouTube channel, and I'll pass that along. Next on the list is Bruce in Snyder, Colorado, KC0EFS. Good evening to you, Bruce. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Steve down in Colorado Springs, KM6BAY. Good evening to you, Steve. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
W8WKY.
Next on the list is Mike down in Oklahoma over on YouTube, KO5AOK. Mike, if you've got anything for the net, you can post it over there on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Bernice and the net. Well, I'm happy to say that I finally got the part that I was waiting for, so I can put my telescope back together. And now we just need some clear skies, and it looks like there might be clear skies coming up next week. Oh, but so often the forecast says next week, oh boy, and then next week, anyway. Looking for better things to come, and the full moon coming anyway. So hope everybody's enjoying the summer. Have a happy 4th, and we will talk to you down the log. KI7PKL, back to that.
All right, Roy. Hopefully you'll get some imaging in. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Ethan Freely, K2ELB. Good evening to Ethan. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Tennessee, K9NOC. Good evening to Patrick. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Hey, Bernard. K9 knock over here. Just saying I enjoyed the net, tuning in, no traffic. Back to you. Thank you.
And Patrick, I do appreciate you staying up late. I do appreciate everybody that's staying up late with us as well, especially on the East Coast there. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Eric over on YouTube. He's up in New York, W2HAZ. If you got anything for us tonight, Eric over on YouTube, just post that over there. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Ron up in Berthoud, KF0BLO. Good evening to Ron. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Wesley in Kentucky, KF4WLQ. Good evening to you, Wesley. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Fred up in Michigan, F8FSQ. Good evening to you, Fred. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Oh, hello, Bernice, and the rest of the net. Thanks for being out there. I don't have any traffic. I did want to say thank you for being out there. You really do make my my Tuesday afternoons hearing all of the astronomy information and what you have to offer. And I just want to say keep it up. I appreciate you. This is KF8FSQ.
All right, Fred, I'd love to hear that. I do appreciate it. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list, got to acknowledge Mark, KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. Got you checked in. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Okay, quiet night. So I may end up closing the net a little early. We'll see. But right now, I'll go ahead and open up the net for anybody else. Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Kilo Charlie 4 Zulu Yankee Charlie. Kilo Charlie 4 Zulu Yankee Charlie. Late check-in. Good evening, Burness.
Okay, good evening to you, Howard, down in Florida. KC4, ZYC. What have you got for us tonight, Howard? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Burness, KI0AR, and the net, KC4ZYC. Well, not much on this end, unfortunately. We've had some thunderstorms and rain in the area that's kind of obscured the sky, so really haven't done much in the way of star watching as of late. And like everyone else, it's been rather hot and oppressive here. Sorry to hear about the forest fires out in your neck of the woods, and hopefully you'll be able to get them contained. I know the one out by I think it was Grand Junction was pretty bad, from what I understand from listening to the scanner on Broadcastify and hearing the reports out in that neck of the woods. But nothing further on this end. Happy 4th of July, and I look forward to checking next week. KI0AR, KC4 ZYC.
You bet, Howard. Yeah, there was quite a few injuries. Unfortunately, several deaths of the firefighters. So our hearts go out to and condolences go out to them and their families for sure. But yeah, it is a nasty one out there. But Howard, stay safe. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. All right. One more call. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Net control, this is KK5, PCE, Vance in Southwest Arkansas. Appreciate listening to the stories tonight. Sorry for the late check-in.
W8WKY.
Thanks for that. I didn't get the call sign. I got a KK5. Well, I don't think I got it right. Vance. I heard the name there. If you could give me your call phonetically, I'll get you on the list. For sure. Go ahead, please.
This is Kilo Juliet 5, Papa Charlie Echo. That's Kilo Juliet 5, Papa Charlie Echo.
Okay, and you went by Vance, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, Vance, KJ5PCE. Welcome to the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Ernest. It's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra. Appreciate you listening in tonight. So I'm going to make your contact the last one for the net. If you been listening and enjoying the net, we appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out, you've been doing it for decades, or what have you, or anything else you'd like to pass along to the net. Please go ahead, and again, welcome to the net. Go ahead, Vance.
Thank you. Yes, in amateur astronomy, I've got a 12x12 roll-off roof with a here in southwestern Arkansas with CPC 1100 and a couple other smaller scopes, and also installed a very short link microwave link down at JFC prior to the shuttles and doing payload bay testing at that location.
All right, Vance, very cool, very cool. Appreciate you sharing that with us. And again, welcome to the net. All right, it is 9 o'clock. Just to let you know, we meet at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so that'll be 9 p.m. your time on Tuesday night. And I do appreciate you checking in tonight, Vance. And again, welcome to the net. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 23 check-ins for checking in tonight. Hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday evening for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater system. Also like to thank the Skyhub Link group for the use of their systems as well, and all the different ways that you guys can check in to the net. Please check out skyhublink.com, skyhublink.com for more information on that setup. And if you're ever interested in hosting through your own local repeaters, we could do that too. So definitely check out the site there. I do appreciate that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.
I'll say good evening, and we'll catch you next week. KCFQV.
All right, Mark, I heard you in there. Thanks for checking in tonight. And I got another one over on YouTube out of New York. Mike up in New York, KE2FTG. I appreciate you checking in over there on YouTube. I'm getting ready to sign. I'm just about ready to shut everything down, but I do appreciate everybody checking in tonight. This is KI0AR 73.
Yep, we'll catch you next week. Yeah, come in. Yeah, do an attitude adjustment to the equipment. Periodically it has to have that done. Okay, self-QV. We'll catch you next week. All. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend. There'll be a lot of stars up there this weekend when you see all them flashing lights and flashing sparks. Don't think they're stars. KSFQV.